The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Yo, yo, yo. My pants are Michael Dudikoff. Yeah, baby. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 260 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture, navigated by the Deadites. The Deadites are the world's greatest electroshock band. We destroy monsters, we drink booze, we win championship belts, and we Michael Dudikoff our pants.
No, they're Michael Dudikoff.
Okay.
Like that off.
They're Michael Dudikoff.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the off.
Right. See?
WNBC.
WN. Market basket. I told them to wait for you, but they wouldn't.
Nope. Hey, Raven Shadow, you have
I stole your job, though. I did some fucking awesome rhymes.
Raven Shadow, you got the number to an HVAC joint in your wallet? Yeah. It's fucking hot in here.
Did you add any new cards at all to your wallet since you took
did-
about 6 of them out last week?
Did you do anything? Whoa. First off, what are those fucking straws you're walking on?
Oh my God, he's
What
wearing
are those?
shorts.
Yeah. What's going on there? Oh my God.
He's got boat
My
shoes.
God.
Skeleton legs.
I don't know how you went from gangster to my dad's closet in the course of like a week, but you look like
Very hot out.
I was talking to the Awesome Sheets family, and it looks like you're. It looks like you walked in on 2 fluorescent light tubes.
The foot bone's connected to the ankle bone. The ankle bone
No,
connected to the
it caused
shin
commotion
bone.
at the
Shin
shop.
bone connected to the knee bone.
Are you on vacation?
No, I did a lot of crappy things today, and I'm going to follow up with the sequel, Crappy Thursday. So
I have good Thursday and bad Friday.
really, yeah, I have Shitty Wednesday and Shitty Thursday.
I had shitty
Coming up.
Tuesday,
Yep.
and now I have shitty Friday.
Raven Shadow, what's up with those fucking legs, really?
Listen, I grew them. I mean, and that's they're mine.
Well, whether or not they grew ever at all is
No, they go all the way
up
up.
for conjecture. You know, I mean, look at
What, you want to offer your grooming services?
Right.
It's hot out, and there's two. Don't
means
fucking
he's
take
gonna
a picture of my legs,
That means he's
asshole.
gonna pick fleas off you.
Oh, yeah. No, there's 2 times a year that I wear shorts, and this is one of them.
2 times? You only allow yourself twice?
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna slow it down. I ain't wear a lot of shorts.
toothpick, dude. Are you good?
Listen,
Oh, he's
If
got
you need a toothpick, you
Wait,
got-
no, he's got stimmy dents for legs.
Here's what I want you to do to make your day better tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.
right?
Tweezer legs.
You go like this. You go to see. He's gonna get it right away, right?
All right.
You go to a fine-looking lady.
Ooh.
You go, hey, I want you to take those clothes, Michael Dudikoff.
Oh, yeah, dude. There you go, American Ninja like a bug.
Welcome to 2 minutes ago when you weren't here, Raven Shadow.
If you wait, I went
He
down.
did that joke twice.
It's a good
and
joke.
it worked on you.
Well, I mean, the first time I heard it, and when I listened to it again, I'm sure it'll work on me again. Fucking who's his boy? Jackson.
Jackson?
That's the original fucking Power Man and
course.
Iron Fist. Steve James? Steve James, right?
No, wait. I'm thinking of Brian James. Maybe it is Steve James. I'll look.
Yeah.
Raven Shadow, Corny says, get some sun on those legs.
Listen, Corny.
No, burst into flames. Don't do that.
Yeah, I don't go to the beach. The only thing I like about the beach is like a big ashtray. It's fucking. I don't.
It's
You
like
put your butts out anywhere.
Yeah, but you can't smoke there anymore. So why the point?
Yeah,
the
his
point
legs
of
are
going?
splinters.
it's like
for
an
Christ's
it's like an
sake.
indecisive desert.
Yeah. I don't like that. It's hot out, Corny. You get the dry heat there in the South, Kakalakis.
Steve James. Yeah.
Steve James. Yeah, he's my dude. He's my bro.
Speaking of 1984.
Yes. Jump.
No, this was 1985. I watched Police Academy for the first time in a really
Very
long time.
nice.
Well,
Wow.
It was. I will say, the last 45 minutes.
Which
made-
one? The first
The
one?
original one.
Yeah.
The last 45 minutes made me love it again. But I was sort of like, you know, I don't know. It's like it makes Teen Ape look politically correct. That's for sure.
Well, a lot of those early 80 comedies.
This was bad. This
were-
was like,
No, yeah.
this was
yeah.
really bad.
But anybody inappropriate were bad people.
Not true.
Except for Jones, doesn't count.
No, at one point, Steve Gutenberg says that, so sleeping's for birds. Slack-jawed birds.
Well, I don't think he said that.
He did.
He said, I
did.
think he said sleep gives you cancer. Everybody knows
Right.
that, which I've quoted a lot.
But, yeah, so, you know, it was very, I'll say, come out and say it was very homophobic, seemingly.
Yes. And Blanks was very racist. And
But they were the bad guys. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
That's
Or
my,
Copeland,
that's,
not
that's
Blanks,
my whole.
Copeland.
That's my whole thing about.
Yeah.
You know, people like the villains can't even be bad guys in movies now, but like you know, and not even in like kind of dumb ways like the blowjob gag, but like you know, just
Right.
a lot of offhanded like stuff. So, but the last 40 minutes like really worked for me. So
Oh yeah,
I still love it.
And Police Academy 2 is up there with the best sequels of all time.
Oh man,
I want to be a cop.
my affection towards Police Academy 2 just grows.
I want to
Yeah,
be a cop because
year
of,
after year.
because of Mahoney and Axel Foley. I thought I could be on the beach on an ATV and then being undercover. But turns out, you know.
You couldn't be undercover when they could on your beach when they could see your legs from space.
right. The reflective shine off of those things. My God.
Well, that's why I transitioned my career goals. Hence, not a cop. And on Trick or Treat Radio.
We could be cops now, though.
We should be cops.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of people hanging out in the chat room. We got Corny. We got Cecil.
Hey.
We got Julie Meow Meows. We got Oily
Julie.
Maniac.
Oily.
Oily's my dude. I'm talking to Oily all day today.
And Tom C. and Bosch.
Tom C, how you doing, buddy?
Bosch was last week, actually.
Oh.
Tom C last week?
Bosch may be there now. No, Tom C is this week again. And Cecil says, I am just relaxing before this big movie weekend. Valerian and Dunkirk coming up.
Ooh.
It's a big disparity in my excitement between
Right.
those two films.
Which one are you excited about?
Well, Dunkirk.
Why not Valerian?
I don't... I think you only have to look at that trailer, and I know it's based on a property, I think a book, right?
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
about that? To see that that dude is like just... That John Carpenter suit didn't slow that dude down one bit.
Yeah.
So...
Julie Meow Meow says, hey, look, some of us are pale mole people.
Thank you, Julie Meow
Yes.
Meow.
Julie, you are not a mole person.
I don't have legs like sticks, but I am very, very pale. I hate getting the sun. If I'm out in the sun for like more than 2 minutes, I start freaking out.
Jesus Christ.
Courtney says, what did he say? Dry heat here? It's humid as hell here.
Hey, what are you talking
Yeah.
I don't know where he is.
That's in like the southwest is the dry.
Yeah. Vegas, Arizona.
Well, where's South Carolina?
Jeez. Who's
In
in,
proximity in North Carolina.
who's in
Yeah.
South Carolina?
It's southeast.
It's Corny, right? Is that
No.
He's in the Kakalakis?
No.
You are...
Where is he? Atlanta? ATL?
Alabama.
No, isn't that the same fucking thing, though?
No.
Isn't that like how?
You
how
look
much
at it
different-
on a map.
Wait, how much different is that? Is that it's like Jersey and New York, right? Yeah, Joe DeCanio.
Jesus Christ.
How much different? I mean, like
Talked
if
to
you were-
my buddy Tom Normandy the other day too. Everybody is coming out of the woodwork, reaching out. Actually, Tom Normandy of
Yeah?
Speaking of beaches,
Film for Thought. Actually, I'm gonna be like a total fucking wrestling style internet troll and only refer to those guys as Tom and Joe from House of Horror. See if I can make a difference.
It's the House of Horrors and the House of Horrors.
it's nice.
Thank you.
Julie Meow Meow says, whenever I see sunlight, I burn like the little girl in Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, it sucks.
I burn up like the Nazi at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, but that's not because of the sun.
Yeah.
That's when he gets near a school, his ankle bracelet goes
Yeah,
off.
that's God's purifying light.
Yeah.
And no, to be fair, my Italian biological makeup is enhanced by Earth's yellow sun. I do tan very well. I just don't like going out there. Okay, you know, I mow the lawn. I come in. I look, hey, the lawn's really nice and mowed. Then I close my black shades.
How often do you really have to mow the lawn?
I do it every week.
I've literally had to start having somebody do it every week because we got this weird batch of weeds that I have to like pay somebody to do.
You say
Like,
weeds, man?
no, literally like. So I mowed the lawn like 2 weeks ago, and then we got all that rain,
Yeah.
and there was like weeds like up,
Yeah.
up to my like shoulder. Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
these
yeah.
crazy like tree
Yeah.
weeds. I've never seen anything like it. So, but yeah, I'm now. If anybody wants to come mow my lawn for free, that might be something that has to happen pretty soon.
That means like trim his pubes or something.
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
do that myself.
No. I just rip them out by the roots.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Don't do that.
And I do that in a big Three Stooges sound effect.
My fucking duct tape.
Yeah.
Don't duct tape yourself, you
I-
fucking weirdo.
I think I could wax you if you wanted to.
that's
I was be like that scene in Raw.
Oh, no, thanks.
Oily
no,
wants to know: Are
no
those
thanks.
peanut products near MZ?
Yeah.
Please.
Yes, they are. They're gonna kill me.
Oh my god!
We're gonna have a real life death on this show.
And Julie says, "Yeah, corny is more of a horrible swampy heat in Alabama."
Sold.
Creepy girl's here. She says, "I'm here. What I miss?"
Hey.
Not much, creepy girl.
No.
Corny and Julie, it's very nice
Oh,
up here.
we got Raven Shadow's bare ass legs, if you want to call them legs.
Yeah, legs. I walk on them.
Cecil says, "Swamp Heat should be the sequel to Body Heat and a prequel to Heat."
I'd buy that.
We have Sheetsy's hanging out. He says, "Hey,
Oh.
friends." Hey. What's up, Sheetsy?
3 sheets.
That is
of
one handsome dude.
And Bosch is here. He says, "Oh, hey. What's up, Bosch?"
Bush.
So let me go through what's going to happen tonight. How about that? Let's get into that. So tonight, we are going to review the film Colossal by director Nacho Vigalondo and stars Anne Hathaway. So we're going to check that out tonight. And then after that, we're just going to play some feedback. And we didn't want to do a tribute per se because, you know, it was very sad. We'd lost a legend in George Romero, a man who we may not be here doing this show if it weren't for him.
No, it's fair.
And
The
I'm
Deadites
sure,
were originally zombie hunters.
yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that probably wouldn't be doing what they're doing if not for George Romero. And it goes beyond just zombies. And I'm hoping that we did get a few voicemails, but if you guys want to convey any stories, any anecdotes, or even just how George Romero affected you, if you guys are listening live and you want to get something in, we'd appreciate that. We're not going to talk too much about it, but you know, he was very influential to a lot of us
Oh, yeah.
and to the horror genre.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere there is a photograph of Tiny White and Ken Furry doing high kicks.
Oh yeah.
So
Really?
Yeah. And not only was he like, as I saw our buddy Michael Neal pointed out, you know, obviously everyone's going to remember Romero for his living, you know, for his dead films, but that dude fucking did Creepshow too.
Yeah.
I mean, Creepshow also. Like, he did Creepshow, you know, and that basically kicked off the fucking horror anthology, you know, like
re-kicked.
it made it what it is now, I should say. You know, it because whenever you ask any of us what our favorite horror anthology is, I'm sure most of us are gonna say Creepshow or Creepshow 2. So, you know,
Creepshow 2 is like a shit sandwich. Well, no, like a delicious sandwich with shit on for the bread or whatever, because it's got those two middle segments.
I like the whole thing.
Not where it's at, but
I'm not a fan of Creepshow 2. Not a fan.
Creepshow is one of the
Didn't
first
care
horror
for
flicks.
that's
I
because
saw.
that
The
lady
first
keeps hitting
story-
you with a car.
The first story was good. The first story was good. The rest,
The first one was good?
The Raft, yeah.
No, that's not the first. That's in the middle.
No, it's not the first one.
Oh, it's not.
No, the
no.
first
Well,
one's
it's been
about the
so long
wooden
since I've
Indian.
seen
The
it.
Indian, yeah.
Oh, that's right. The store Indian.
Thanks
yeah.
for the ride, lady. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that one seems to be a fan favorite to a lot of people.
Well, like I said, I like to see you get hit by a car or whatever.
Or even a movie like The Crazies or Martin. Like,
Oh.
it's unbelievable. Like, his filmography is
The Crazies is
loaded.
absolutely fantastic.
Oh, I love The fucking Crazy. I think it might be my favorite non-zombie movie, you know? Like, it's in essence, it had a lot of what made Night of the Living Dead so fantastic, you know? So we're going to talk about Romero a little bit later. If you guys do have anything to add to the conversation, please send a voicemail or an email. You can send it to podcast@trickortreatradio.com, or you can go to trickortreatradio.com on the website and go ahead and click on the contact button. And right under there, you'll see leave us a voicemail, and you can leave it directly from your computer. If you guys want to tweet at us, it's @the Deadites. And that goes for folks listening live. And if you're listening to the podcast on, when it drops on Apple Podcasts, on Stitcher, Google Play, and Satchel Podcast Player, drop us a line and we'll go ahead and play it the next episode, because Romero meant a lot to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So want to make sure people have a platform to get their voice heard, and even just to talk about how much of an impact that he had. I think it's important to get that out there and sort of have it join the conversation.
Yep.
So,
hey Wolfie, maybe in some sort of a slanted homage later on, I'll give Monster Zero the Romero special.
Okay.
I'm afraid of what that might entail.
Cecil says the Raft and Creepshow 2 stands apart from the rest of the movie for me.
Yeah, that one is still I still like that one the most. I'm not a big fan of it, but of the movie itself, but that segment was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what's up for tonight, and we'll obviously play the rest of our normal feedback. And we also have a contest coming to an end. We'll announce the winner next week, but as of the time of the live show, you guys have about, let me double check, you have 35 hours left. So if you're listening to this live, you have 35 hours to contribute to the Black Mask expansion for Mixtape Massacre. We haven't had too many entries, so if you guys want to get in on this, go ahead and send at least $5 to their Kickstarter, and just go ahead, take a screenshot, or even just with your phone, take a picture. Just send it to us and let us know that, so we can see the value of what you paid, and you'll be entered into the contest. That's it, and you could win a copy of Mixtape Massacre.
That's
all
right.
Brand new, sealed,
Yep.
$60 retail. We'll send it right to your door.
Kermit is doing a good job of protecting
Yeah,
it,
he's
making
protecting it.
sure nobody takes
Nobody
it.
takes it.
Yep.
But you know what? $5. That ain't such a bad deal. If I had the
At least
opportunity, I would
$5,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You
I
know?
want to join.
And
Yeah.
If this wasn't clear in the past, the way we do things on our Trick or Treat Radio contests, for every $1 you give, you basically get an entry. So if you give $5, you have 5 chances to win, basically. So I gave, for every $1 you give, you'll get like kind of an entry. So the more you give, obviously, the better chance you have. But go ahead and donate. Just throw your name in the hat, because we have 35 hours from the time that this is live. If you guys miss out, we've been talking about it for the last few weeks, so it sucks. But hey, $5, you get entered to win a $60 game, and you know what? If you don't win, you help out Mixtape Massacre, because they're doing a fucking awesome thing. They've demolished their goal. They're almost at 20,000. They're about to reach their last stretch goal. Hopefully they can hit that before the time runs out. And then
That's insane.
the other thing I wanted to talk about is next week. This will be on July 26th. Wednesday, July 26th is our 5-year anniversary show. 5 fucking years, dudes.
Why?
5.
Why is there
1
5
year
years
for
of this?
each of us.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no, it's only 4 of us. Never mind.
1.25 years for each of us.
So,
Who saw that coming?
It's fucking weird, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean the fact that he's so good at numbers and fractions.
Yes, that too.
I is smart.
So next week, it is our 5-year anniversary, and to help us celebrate, we're going to be joined by our good friend Karando Mitsutake to talk about his recently released film Karate Kill.
Yeah.
It just hit VOD and some online vendors yesterday on the 18th. Not all. It looks like Amazon, something went wrong there. They don't have any stock. And I don't know if they're going to get it soon. I don't know what the deal is. But you guys can get it from like Walmart. You can go ahead and order the digital copy of it. And you can see it. Definitely, I recommend it. And Karando has agreed to do a Q&A. So what he's going to do is he's going to come on, and we're just going to take questions from you guys. And what we're going to do is we're going to just randomly select. I think we're going to get a DVD and a Blu-ray. I'm a little. We don't have it in our hands, so I don't know for sure. But I think we're getting both. If we do, we'll give away 2. We'll give away both. So for everyone that sends in a voicemail or a question, whether it be via email or on the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, you will be entered to win a Blu-ray of Karate Kill. All you got to do, send a question. It can be about Karate Kill. It can be about Gunwoman. It could be about Samurai Avenger. It can be about any of Carando's work. It could be just about filmmaking in general, or it could be about his stint on Heroes when he was on season 2 of the television show Heroes. He played Whitebeard. So,
Or you could leave a message about his hair or his actual beard.
I guess. I mean, if you're that hard up,
You could.
you need to go watch his movies. But Gunwoman is available on Netflix. So if you guys have not seen it, go fucking watch that movie. It is unbelievable.
Yes.
And I'm super excited to have Carando with us on the 5-year anniversary show. And I want to get some really good questions from you guys. So please send in your voicemail. Get them in early if you want. Once again, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. Send an email, send a voice memo using your smartphone, or go to trickortreatradio.com. Click on the contact and then leave a voicemail directly from that link from your computer. And we'd love to hear from a lot of you folks. Carando would love to hear your voices, preferably. So if you are able to send a voicemail, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So what else do we have going on here? I think that's it for contests, and that's it for 5 years. We have some other stuff coming up that we'll announce about for the 5-year show. But we also want to hear from you guys, even if it's not a question for Carando. 5-year anniversary. If you guys dig the show, let us know what the fuck you dig about it. Do you like when we make MZ cry?
Yes.
Did you like it when I passed out?
You did.
I didn't like that. For the first
You
time
watched it like 100 times.
showed so many
because I
people.
wanted to see how the hell this could have happened. Let me tell you something. For the first time in my life, okay, I finally found, there was like, it was like a blinding light and no oxygen to the brain, and I passed out. It was like being Michael Raven's shadow.
Fair.
And let me tell you something.
But I can explain it.
Yeah, true. But let me tell you something. It wasn't funny. It was scary.
Yeah.
And it must be scary being you from time to time. I can imagine.
No, you have no idea. I'll fucking tell you a story about today.
I mean, no oxygen to the brain. You pass out. How do you deal with that?
You wake up and go to work. I just don't. It's not my own joke though. I'm a veteran.
I believe if I remember the show properly, he does his first and 2 shots, then takes a shower, and then brushes his teeth with his toothbrushing machine. His electrical
Sonic
toothbrush.
hair.
Yeah, is it Sonic? I talk about that. Yeah, my Sonic here. Then I do a
Yes,
regular.
yes.
Rinses his toothbrush and Rolling Rock.
Hey, Monster Zero. I know I asked Wolfie pre-show. He didn't, but did you check out the Leatherface trailer?
I did.
What did you think?
Leather balls.
Leather balls.
I gotta watch it again. Actually,
I
didn't think much of it when I first saw it.
I didn't either. Like, actually, to be honest,
I'm not. I wasn't too impressed with what I saw.
I wasn't
so
like,
far.
even if like, I mean, I'm not. I don't mind remakes, but I mean, this is supposed to be a
Prequel
prequel
to
so I
the
don't have-
original.
Yeah, so I don't have a problem with that. But like,
No.
I don't.
Didn't they already do that?
No.
No.
They did a prequel to the remake. I know it's very confusing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous the way they have these things.
I don't like
laid
how
out.
Leatherface has a Prince Valiant wig on at one point. I don't really understand that. And the chainsaw's flying around all by its lonesome. Like, there's some shit in there I don't understand. And it's like, meanwhile, Reservoir Dogs is happening or something. Like, I don't really understand.
No, I saw it. I gotta watch it again, but for right now, I'm not too impressed.
I mean, I love that director so far. So
Yeah. Oh, Luc. How do you pronounce it?
Luc Besson.
Luc
no,
Besson.
no, it's not Luc Besson. He's who made the Professional.
It was the people who made Inside,
Inside.
right? Yeah.
Yes. So Jean Pierre and yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, no,
Creepy Girl says, I thought it looked amazing. I can't wait. She's talking about Leatherface. Yeah.
Creepy Girl. We are just not on the same page anymore.
Bosch says Leatherface looks over-engineered.
What do you mean?
Don't know.
Like,
Well, see,
like
that's-
Raven Shadow's electrical toothbrush?
Wait, what was
Like
the
his
prequel?
Stimmy Dent legs.
Hey.
Or you know what? The problem with Leatherface is that and this goes all the way back to the remake of the film, is that they decided to give him an identity, and that pretty much put the hatchet.
Well, that's what
right
a lot
in
of
the
these
brain.
movies have tried,
Well, they
right?
gave- they
Like,
gave-
But
Rob
and I-
Zombie did it with Michael Myers,
But they
right?
gave him an identity.
yeah, but
in
they
this-
gave him a backstory
in
too.
the second one.
Wait.
Tom
Oh, you
C
talking
says
to
I
me?
dig on MZ's breasts.
You got that going for
You
you.
got a side boob?
Oh, look at you there, not ready for prime time.
Bosch says I'd see a Luc Besson Leatherface. And Crazy Girl says she's a big Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan.
Luke Besson would call it like something else like cowhide face or something. Try to pass
Right.
it off.
I think all of us are big Texas Chainsaw fans. Like,
Yeah.
we were to pick the consensus favorite films, that will probably be in the top 5.
Yeah,
for
I
us,
got
right?
it tattooed on my body, so
Not me.
I got Leatherface on
It
me.
wouldn't be?
No, but be in top 10.
Okay.
Quantity wise, if we were just doing horror movies.
Okay,
It's,
yeah.
But I mean, I love action and western so much that some of that stuff gets a little displaced. But
Bosch says, I mean, like, too many suits, too many charts and graphs.
no, yeah, you're probably
Yeah.
right. I mean, quantity wise, I probably like more than the rest of you. Because there's only 2 of them I don't like. So
Now, you were saying earlier that they gave him an identity in the sequel, in the
yeah, the kind of impression.
TCM2. Now, see, I always figured that was like some sort of pseudonym. I guess that's the word, pseudonym. Because it just doesn't sound realistic
But
to
how
me
do you
enough.
know that this
Luther face.
isn't a
Luther.
Luther face.
I mean, and they never
You
really
found
gave
that
him
funny in the same way that
Yeah,
I
you
thought
almost
you were
made
gonna
yourself
pass
pass out. Oh, he passed out. Wake him up.
Oh, no. Let's just keep on talking like everyone did when I passed out. No, I alwaast felt that was like some sort of made-up name, pseudonym that, just to hide
That was
their,
his name, pseudonym?
just to hide their own identity.
Pseudo Tim.
Just to hide their own identities,
The secret
but
of pseudonym.
I mean, yeah, they all actually have to have a name at some point, but I just always took that Bubba Sawyer, Drayton Sawyer
But how do you know?
as a pseudonym and not actually their real names.
How do you know that the?
How do I know? I don't know.
No, how
That's
do you
it's
know
just
that
how
the-
I accepted
The
it.
new one is the one from the remake is just not something that they made up. Oh, actually, there is one more. I didn't like that Leatherface one that the Chainsaw 3D.
Now I did like that.
No.
I did like that.
Yeah, I didn't like it. But
Well, first of all, it has Alexandra Daddario in it, and that's more than enough for me. Secondly, I found the story to be pretty good. The timeline is all fucked up. Granted,
It's
yes,
fucking-
it's all over the place and it's completely wrong. I'll definitely agree with that. But that aside, what you had here was not a terrible story, and it expanded on the family, not so much their identity, but the family, and I thought that was pretty cool. Ta-da!
All right. I guess there's some other trailers. I don't know if you guys care, but did you see the trailer for the new Guillermo del Toro flick?
Oh no! What is it?
I'm forgetting the name. Let me look real quick. Something about The Shape of Water, I believe, is the name of it. Yeah, The Shape of Water. It actually looks like a fucking Abe Sapien kind
Really?
of like story. Yeah.
Really?
No shit.
Here, I'll play it. I'll play it in studio with the sound down. Obviously,
No.
you guys can check it out.
Cool.
Check it out.
Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we're watching that and get some live reaction while we're doing it. What do you guys think of Guillermo? Like for me, he's everything he puts out. I'm gonna go see.
Oh yeah, I love Guillermo
I'm
del Toro.
super excited for everything he does.
Oh yeah.
I know some people were a little iffy on Crimson Peak, but I was a big fan.
I worship his.
Your mic's off, Labs.
I'm chewing into the mic, but I can't help it because these Reese's Pieces are so delicious. I'm a big fan of his. I love his Spanish films.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing,
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
Like
Kronos and
I just feel like they
Devil's
look
Backbone.
so good and they transcend their budget in so many ways and they're so epic in scope while personal. I just feel like he it's almost like he's 2 different directors. I feel like not so much Crimson Peak. I feel like Crimson Peak was kind of in between. But like when you take a film like Pacific Rim, I was surprised on how kind of off the tracks it felt for me. So
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Maybe it has to do with the Hollywood system, and them getting their hands on the film and doing what they want to do with it. But I agree. But I feel, I mean, as good as his Spanish and American output is, his Spanish output is
It's like a different
far
director.
superior. It is.
Show me on the giant robot where Hollywood touched you.
It is interesting, and he did go back and do Pan's Labyrinth after he did Hellboy, at least Hellboy 1.
I love
So-
those films. So.
Yeah.
So he had a touch of sort of American filmmaking when he did Pan's Labyrinth, and I love Devil's Backbone is one of my favorite horror
Great
films.
flick.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
flick.
Yeah, sold on this.
Wasn't that just not just, but isn't that on a Criterion release?
What?
Devil's
Yep.
Backbone.
Yeah,
I have
it is,
I have
yeah.
all 4 of those on.
Nice.
My special lady friend got me this
Oh,
nice
yeah.
Criterion collection.
Kronos is on that, right?
Yep.
Nice.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't that look like Ape Sapien, Raven Shadow?
Oh yeah, no, totally. I'm
and
all in.
And it's Doug Jones that plays him too.
Oh, is it really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Really?
Or I assume so. He's listed in the credits, so I assume that's him.
Yeah.
Doug Jones is awesome.
And it's got what's his name?
Michael Shannon.
Yeah, Michael Shannon.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I think
Yeah.
I think it looks good.
That's dope.
There was what was the other trailer? I could have sworn someone else posted another trailer today.
I did.
What?
Butt Crack 2.
No. I wish. Professor Marston and the Wonder Women.
Oh yeah. No, I think it looks good. I actually, when I heard about it, I thought it was going to be a documentary. I don't know why. I didn't realize it was going to be an actual film.
No, I'm definitely interested in this. I'm always interested in that kind of thing, like the story behind the making of.
Oh wait, is that the like William Marsh
Yeah.
the Wonder Woman creator?
It's basically the story of when he was creating Wonder Woman and how he was involved in, I don't know if it's an open or polyamorous relationship or whatever, but basically had his wife and they had a lover.
Oh yeah, they were fucking partying, dude. And he invented they
Fucking partying,
They were
dude.
getting toe up, and he invented the fucking lie detector.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They were into some mad kink, dude. Like, yeah, he was doing some fucking Alan Moore shit before Alan Moore was even got his wizard robes. That dude was on point. Like, he was still a fucking Padme or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Right.
Yeah, he was getting his fucking kink on, dude.
One thing I want to recommend to our listeners, if anyone crossover on the cult will hear me talk about that, I left a kind of long, rambly voicemail, but I read 2 comics, one of which I was surprised was really good. I read about 12 or 13 issues of the new Deathstroke comic. Yeah, and I didn't realize that it was not only written by Christopher Priest, it was written by Larry Hama.
Really?
Yeah, or he does the breakdowns, but
Of
and he's
the
involved
art?
in the scripting. Yeah,
Because he used to draw too,
Right.
a little
yeah.
bit.
So, well, the breakdown. Yeah, I mean that's the breakdown.
What's that mean? I mean,
Yeah.
like he like
So yeah, it was
on the telephone.
but it
What the boy be talking about on the telephone?
it's real good. It's the story is so kind of Bourne Identity-ish. I feel like it loses way at the end, but it's much more violent than I thought it was going to be. But even more so, let me look up her name. The writer of the new
You just mentioned it, the Punisher, right?
Punisher comic is so incredibly. She gave me the Punisher I've wanted forever, and the first bunch of issues are drawn by Steve Dillon before he passed away. It is a big budget Punisher action movie, losing very little of the. It's not the Fast and the Furious. It's more like the Raid 2. Like it's every bit as violent as Ennis's Punisher, but a cool. It's a lot like a movie. Like it goes from place to place like a film as opposed to like a comic. It doesn't have a lot of downtime like that.
Right.
And there's motorcycle fights and ambulance takeover. And,
Wow, like Knight Riders.
Wow. Nice Knight Rider pull.
I think he said Knight Riders.
I did.
No, I know, like the horseback.
George Romero
George
film.
Romero's,
Thank
yes,
you
George
very
Romero
much.
on the horseback.
Becky
Yeah.
Becky
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Cloonan
Yeah.
is her name, and she is for my money, the best action writer in comics right now, by a lot. She is why I write. She's why I read comics right now. I like Bendis and a lot of these guys, but and the Punisher lends himself to this, but and there's there's lots of this is basically she woke up one day and said, if I could do one Punisher, if I have like 10 things I'd like to see the Punisher do, and only had one story to tell it in, what would I do? Because this has like kind of like a 28 Days Later vibe thing going, and it stays on this continent, but like it crosses some borders, and Punisher runs afoul the wilderness at one point, and
All different scenarios.
yeah, it's all real good, like, but all in the the context of this this one story, so it's real cool, and she understands the great films and why we love them, and why I feel like a thing like Dark Knight, like I feel like Christopher Nolan might have understood great noir and gothic imagery, but not action films that much, just by the way that battle was with Rash at the end, because this whole thing ends on a battle on a piece of a fist fight on a piece of a broken iceberg. So like between the main villain and Punisher, like that's all like that's all we want, right? As action fans and comic fans, we want that showdown. That's why we're there, like, so it was really great. So I'm gonna check out some other stuff that she wrote, but for now, anything else that she checks out, Becky Cloonan, if I'm saying her name properly, has moved to the top of my guest list at the Trick or Treat Radio Hall of Guest List fame.
All
So
right, we can try to make that happen. Just to catch up in the chat room, about 10 minutes ago, Julie Meow Meow says, did Leatherface ever need more backstory than a guy who wears other people's skin to be scary?
That's a good question, and no, he did not.
Cecil says, no, Julie, not at all. You nail my biggest problem anyway. Creepy Girl says, Mars, did you see Outlaws and Angels, Great Western?
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like I at least started it.
Tom C says, original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is just fine. Series over.
Part 2 is pretty good, though.
Cecil says, looks like we just picked up Dracula. Look what your brother did to the door.
Jim
you damn
Side
fool,
out.
you ruined the door.
Jim Side out.
Let's see. Creepy Girl says, that's kind of my least fave, the first TCM.
Really?
I think because that is the one and only movie my mom would never let me watch, and when I finally saw it, disappointed. Really?
What's going on with you, Creepy
God.
Girl? Jeez.
Who said that?
Creepy Girl.
The first Texas Chainsaws are her least favorite.
Probably the hype wasn't as much as she imagined.
Well, if that's not your favorite, Part 4 better be your favorite. The Next Generation
So with the
with Matthew
Renee
McConaughey
Zellweger.
and Renee
Yeah,
Zellweger.
yeah.
That movie's amazing. Oh my God.
Cecil says Guillermo does what Tim Burton should be doing.
That's
I
true.
would disagree with that.
Yeah, I saw Tim Burton's latest Dumbo, and what Dumbo looks like. My God, it's the stuff of fucking nightmares.
Wait, Dumbo?
Dumbo, yeah, he's recreating Dumbo.
With the flying elephant with the ears?
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
and-
it looks, and it's CGI rendered and everything, of course, and it looks absolutely terrifying. I think it's meant to look cute, but it just looks so wrong. At least have the jive talking crows in it, man.
Creepy Girl also says, love Guillermo. He is a man that has true passion and puts out his best, gives his all in his films. Orphanage is my fave.
Or
He didn't direct that one,
no,
though.
he produced it.
Yeah.
He produced it. He didn't
I
direct
enjoyed
it.
Temple of Doom. Okay, great.
I was gonna. Wait. Yeah, he produced that one. Who did direct The Orphanage? I forget.
I don't remember the name of the director, but
Yeah. I don't remember. But it wasn't Guillermo. I know that.
Corny says, I got the Del Toro Criterion box set last week from the Barnes & Noble sale.
Nice. Good job, Corny.
Yeah.
Johnny,
50% off, he said.
can I do something
Nice.
that I've been wanting to do?
I don't know.
Oh,
What-
good.
You know,
if it involves you taking pants off, no.
too late. Why don't you guys right now?
No, don't Michael Dudikoff your pants off.
Why not right now?
Sticks. My God.
What the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
You wish you were that svelte.
They look like dirty.
Ethiopians have better looking legs than you do.
Yeah, well, you know what? Send me your money.
I mean, the only thing you have going against them is that you don't have the big famine baby belly going on with the flies
no.
buzzing all over your face.
A little hoppy, little hops.
So-
down there.
While there are only 10 left in stock right now, why don't you go over to trickortreatradio.com, scan down to our Amazon affiliate link, click on it, purchase Punisher Volume 1 on the Road by Rebecca Cloonan and Stephen Dillon, and give a little homework, because right now it's only $12, and it is worth every friggin' penny. I adore it. So,
Jeez.
so yeah. See that? I did the...
Well, I'll have to include that as well on the episode link. Tom C says MZ's an idiot. I wouldn't feel too validated. I don't know what that was in reference
I
to.
have no idea what he's talking
Tom
about.
C's very smart.
What about Raven Shadow's legs?
First time Mike is now hanging out. Says evening family.
hey.
FTM.
What's up, FTM? All right, I'm all caught up in the chat room. So, did a little trailer discussion there. Kind of veered off into some weird places, but it's cool.
Oh.
And what?
She did Gotham Academy. No? Why did that come up? Yeah, I'm not sure why that came up. She did Southern Crosses. Interesting. I've heard a lot about that.
Yeah. She might have been in the shop too.
Just wandering around.
Yeah, it's like
Just wander around.
Yeah, look at the scoot.
All right, so I think that's going to start to wrap up the intro here. And once again, next week, 5-year anniversary. If you guys want to get some feedback in, please do. If you want to get a question in for Corando, we'd love to hear it. And also, if you guys, we don't talk about this very often, but if you guys haven't done so, if you dig the show, go ahead and give us a 5-star review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't even know. They just changed it, so I'm trying to remember Apple Podcasts. But either way,
American is Apple Podcast.
there you go. Go ahead and leave us a 5-star review if you haven't already. Give us that 5 stars, and then give us a couple nice words. You know, you dig your favorite personality, your favorite show, just something you dig about the show, and we'd appreciate that. I'm looking right now to see if we got any new ones, and I'll find out in a second. And nope, no new ones. I want to get some new ones. Let's get some new ones on there.
Yeah. Come on,
And
creepy girl,
if you
get on
guys
it.
want to support the show, you can head over to trickortreatradio.com. On the right-hand side, you're going to see a bunch of ways you can help support us. There's our friends over at Horror Pack. If you guys want to receive 4 DVDs or Blu-rays directly to your door, sign up for Horror Pack. We get a little cut of that if you do through our link. We also have Amazon. If you guys do your shopping on Amazon, which pretty much everyone does these days, use our link. We get a little cut of that. It doesn't cost any extra, Raven Shadow.
But it helps keep the lights on.
What are you guys fucking laughing about?
I just did the fucking Jedi mind trick on a plastic bottle.
He's going to make himself pass out again.
We're having a force off.
Force off.
I did. I just
He's
did
a
the
fucking-
Jedi mind trick on this bottle. It just came right into my hand.
It came right in his hand.
It's good for the skin.
And also, we have our friends over at Make Some Noise!
Excellent.
See, it works, right?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Coop.
Fuck you. Go fuck yourself, Coop.
Fucking
You know what that
ruined
is? I was talking to Josh over the Chromecast today.
Yeah.
And that's like a Mandela-ism or a Mandela syndrome thing, because everybody thinks it's that, but it's actually like another
Apartheid?
thing.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
No. All right. Can we just go to the break now?
No.
We need a palate cleanse.
But we can go to the break in just a second. Raven Shadow,
Yes.
you sit down, hopefully not at 2 a.m.
We didn't introduce everybody yet.
Does it really fucking matter?
In
Just
5
do it.
years,
Just
everybody
do it.
knows
You-
who we are.
Just do a
You
quick thing.
love your fucking intro.
The-
I do love
the-
all your intros.
The new thing going forward, we're not gonna mess with that.
I don't even like
No, you know what we should say?
What?
You ready? I'll start and we'll just go around. I'm Mars.
I'm Monster Zero.
That's not good. That's bad.
oh God.
I'm Wolfenstein. We are, and we got to say in unison, we are Trick or Treat Radio.
Yeah, and we are the fucking fuck. And we are Captain Planet. That's fucking dumb. That's stupid. Corny doesn't like that.
No, you don't like
you
that.
are the pencil pusher and the producer of all the mayhem, right? And then Dynamo.
Mayhem?
Yeah.
And you are a knife
That's what
with
you eat
scissor
at
legs.
Easter.
Yeah.
And mayhem.
Yeah. You see mayhems. You have faux hams. All those fake foods that you eat with your fake proteins. No, it's good. You're good job. You're a vegan. People like you. Dynamo's the whiskey drinking father. All it's funky. Monster Zero's always tired, and he's the one-time contributor. to the horror hound.
What's gonna happen when he figures out that I don't hardly ever drink?
Well, I know you don't drink. That's why I get
And
upset.
I
It's in
only
your
eat
time.
meat once a week.
Yeah.
Like, what's gonna happen? He's gonna get furious.
Yeah, it
Was
should be in
that
my intro.
was tonight that once a week?
Yes.
Down Michael Raven Shadow.
That Michael Raven Shadow.
Know what I had yesterday for dinner?
What'd you have?
Sweet potato sushi.
Why didn't you tell Coop?
Yeah.
He'd be proud of you.
I'm not doing it for him.
I know, but he'd be proud of you.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, Coop.
Corny says J.A. Bayona directed The Orphanage.
That's it.
And
That's
Cecil says the trailer for Wind River looks good. I'm not
Looking at
familiar.
Monster Zero's pants, it looks like he has a JMB owner.
Tom C says, hey, Raven Dummy, shut up, get a haircut.
Why don't you go die on your birthday?
wow.
Wow.
That escalated quickly. Holy shit.
Someone named Okada Song asks, what gym does Monster Zero go to?
Big
I go
Jim's,
to Slim Jims.
Barbecue Hut.
Slim Jim's Barbecue Hut. And he goes to Art Bradish's.
Yeah.
That's his
I was
fucking
there
gym.
yesterday. 3 more foot-long chili dogs.
Oh.
Yum,
Everybody
yum,
floor candy.
yum. Yummy, yummy, yummy.
How many times
I
you
got
been this
dogs in
year?
my tummy. Huh?
How many times you been this year?
4 or 5 maybe.
That's it? Wow.
No.
Julie Meow Meow
I've
says,
actually been 3 times.
Julie Meow Meow says, last comic I read was Crossed. That is some messed up, scary stuff.
Julie Meow Meow, before you pick a comic next time, you should, or before anybody picks up Cross, you should probably call me. CDR at one point literally had to talk me off the Coburn Ave Bridge there after I read like 26 Crosses in a row. I felt so filthy and dirty and gross. But you should all read this and then get it and tell me what you think.
Julie says it's a zombie apocalypse where the zombies are smart and horribly evil.
No, it's a zombie. It's
And
a
do stuff
fucking.
to your butt.
It's a Right. It's a rapey apocalypse. There's definitely a scene in Cross where the scene that happens eventually when any zombie story goes on too long. That's how you know they jump the shark. Where somebody or the zombies start using their own blood on weapons or stuff like that. So there's a scene where they're looking at them with binoculars and they're like, "What are they fucking doing?" And they're like, "It looks like they're jacking off into that bucket." And they're like, "Why would they do that?" And then all of a sudden they start pulling bullets out of there and putting them in guns. So that if you get shot, if you get grazed by an arrow or a bullet, you turn into a cross. It's not good. Garth Ennis should have. We weren't paying attention to him.
He's stuck with wholesome stuff like
Yeah.
Preacher
Yeah.
and
Well,
Hitman.
this makes Preacher look like the Bernstein Bears.
The Bernstein.
The
Bears.
Bernstein Bear.
Okada Song says Captain Planet, he's the hero.
Yes, thank
It's
you.
true,
Okada-san.
Okada-san.
Thank you.
Tom C says Raven Shadow's the film reviewer extraordinaire.
Thank you. Very. thank you.
Okada-san makes it rain. Don't make fun of him. You'd
Yeah.
like Okada-san.
I like Okada-san. Like everybody. Not all people.
I just watched a match. Some of us, I think you watched it too, Wolfie, the other day, where in the middle of this great wrestling tournament, the legendary Guido and Gito just used it as an opportunity to do every dumb Memphis spot that they've ever
Yeah.
wanted to do right in the middle of the match and swear at each other. Fuck you!
Okada Song says Alex, I'll take if Charles Manson was on a coke binge for 400, please.
Perfect. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow.
Coke binge?
Yeah.
Right.
Julie felt horrible after reading Cross.
Yeah, it's bad for you, Julie. Don't do that. You know what you should do? Stay up tonight, like old Uncle Dynamo, and watch the G1.
And first time, Mike, this is the last comment, then we'll go to break, says, FTM says, does Art Bradish have a delivery truck? Because I think an MZ Transformer will turn into that.
The whole thing is a delivery truck.
Oh, man.
All right, let's, Raven Shadow, you sit down and watch Colossal.
Yeah.
What do you do to prepare for a movie of this epic, gigantic proportion?
Size, right? Well, I take the day off, right? And run some errands. I need the whole day. I go to get my oil changed, and apparently the fine folks at Walmart were very much confused by my European vehicle, aka a Volkswagen Jetta. These European vehicles, and I'm like, motherfucker, it's not a DeLorean, and they couldn't do it. It was not within their wheelhouse, so to speak. So I go to the fine folks at Damaris Auto Body. I was in and out like the Royal Rumble. It was very nice. Thank you for them in Rochdale. Then I go to my doctor. And after a series of questions, I got an EKG, which was nice. I haven't had one of those before.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, we'll find out. I'll get a little stress test scheduled. That'll be awesome. Yeah, guess that will stay tuned. So then I go home, got my dog, you know, have a couple of beers, couple of smokes, and said, I'm sure it'll all work out. And I strap on.
Do you love a scary story? Do you love to dance? The Big Scary Monster Haunts at Midnight is a collection of dark songs about sex, love, death, revenge, and the end of the world. Brought to you by the world's greatest monster hunting electroshock band, the Deadites. Available on iTunes, Google Music, Amazon, CD Baby, and all other digital distribution sites.
Trick or Treat Radio is the greatest podcast ever invented. The spelling is very bad. I'm not sure who wrote this. And the Deadites, is that a company that procures houses? The Deadites. Oh, it's the Deadites. The Deadites are a fantastic musical act. That is what I was supposed to say. And there you go. There it is. Cheeseburger. Remember to rent The Fly, because that's a good movie for making love to.
Jeff Goldblum, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we can
You're welcome.
get you on the show again sometime soon.
I will be Burble.
What's up, y'all? It's me, the Yeti. Telling all the ladies that they couldn't be more fine and that we should knock those boots like Frankenstein. When I want to get my nerd on, I go to Facebook and I go to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. That's the place where I get to talk about all the hip new horror movies, all the cool comics,
What comics?
RPGs, video games, you name it, we're talking about shit on there. And you could not be any cooler if you were the coolest kid in school. Be the first kid on your block to swing their cock over at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for Trick or Treat Radio, ask to join, and it's like Nerd Nirvana, baby, without the shotgun blast. This is the Yeti, signing out. See you at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group.
Follow us on Twitter at The Deadites, TheDeadites.com, and TrickOrTreatRadio.com.
This is Chocolate Beast. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, but you should be eating nougat.
And we are back on Trick or Treat Radio.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the show, MZ.
Oh, hey, what's going on, man?
All right, and we are going to talk about Colossal. This flick is rated R, and it is from 2016 with some festival showings. And it just recently, I think as of yesterday, hit VOD. So this hit on the 18th of July. And I don't know if it's available on physical media yet or not, but we can check that. So it is available on VOD. If you guys want to check it out, if you haven't already, you can do so. It is an action comedy drama, and it is 1 hour, 49 minutes, written and directed by Nacho Vigalondo, and it stars Anne Hathaway, Jason Sudeikis, Austin Stoll, Tim Blake Nelson,
Hey, Bobby!
Dan Stevens,
Austin's Powers.
Austin Stowell.
Oh.
And the synopsis: Gloria is an out-of-work party girl forced to leave her life in New York City and move back home. When reports surface that a giant creature is destroying Seoul, Korea that is, she gradually comes to the realization that she is somehow connected to this phenomenon. All right, so let's talk about Colossal. Now, before we do, actually, let's talk real quick about the director. That's Nacho Vigalondo. And Nacho has done a few things that we've reviewed, although I think the only films that we've reviewed have been anthologies that he's been a part of. He did A is for Apocalypse in ABCs of Death, and he also did Parallel Monsters in VHS Viral. And for my money, I think that was the best short in VHS Viral. Do you guys recall if that was your favorite or...
What was it called again?
Parallel Monsters. That was the one
I liked it.
in the basement where...
I think so.
Okay. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that's the one we liked the best.
I'm trying to remember it.
But he also has directed Time Crimes, which our buddy Al Goro just reviewed on Talk Without Rhythm. He did Extraterrestrial and Open Windows, which came out last year or 2 years ago, and I don't know why we didn't review it. We were going to, and it just never happened. So, but no, he's a pretty up-and-coming, hungry young director, if you will. And this is sort of, I think, probably his biggest picture that he's done so far. And obviously getting Anne Hathaway is a big get. And I think she was also a producer on this as well. So she was involved in it in some capacity on the production side of things. And all right, so we kick off this movie and we have Gloria coming home what looked to be like 8 or 9 in the morning as her boyfriend Tim, played by Dan Stevens, he was getting ready for work and she's just coming home, and you can tell he's really disappointed in her, and she's giving him this fucking like shitty lies about where she was, and it's so obvious that she's lying to him about everything.
Dan Stevens, by the way, from show favorite The Guest.
Yeah, from The Guest and from Downton Abbey, and also had a big turn as the Beast in Disney's Beauty and the Beast movie. So this might be the last time we see him in a genre picture. Because
that actually would have been the last time we saw him in a genre picture. Beauty and the Beast. It's definitely hasn't.
The darkest part of my mind is reserved for the Beast.
Did anyone see that, by the way? The Beauty and the Beast?
No.
The new one? No, I didn't either. And, all right, so... Where was I? Okay, so Gloria, and basically Dan Stevens, his character Tim, is sick of her shit and basically just kicks her out. All her stuff's already packed, and he's like, "Get out of here, leave before I get home from work." And so she goes back home. Do you guys remember where her home was? Was it in Maine? Did they say?
It looks like it was out in the boonies somewhere.
I think they mentioned. I think it might have been Maine, but I'm not positive.
Oh, I don't know.
So she goes back home, and immediately she sees someone that she recognizes. Someone drove by who was like a childhood friend, and he stops, and they catch up for a little bit, and they embrace, and then the character is played by Jason Sudeikis, and his character is Oscar. So Oscar takes her to the bar that he now owns that his dad gave to him, and they kind of hang out, and so clearly Gloria, played by Anne Hathaway, has some major issues. She's exhibiting destructive behavior, would you say, Raven Shadow?
No, that's fucking
self-destructive behavior.
How would he know?
No, it's called coping.
How would he know?
Coping with what?
Just making to get through the day. I mean, I think her boyfriend was out of line.
Why?
And I think she's just working things out any way that she knows how. And it's okay to forget things.
Let's make a little bit law, then the law will allow.
Yeah. Thank you, Dynamo.
Jesus.
Thank you. No, just because she doesn't remember every conversation or remember what happened at night doesn't mean that she's got a problem.
No, she's got a
No,
serious
it's just
problem.
the fact that she drinks all the time.
Yeah.
Just because she doesn't remember any conversation or doesn't know where she sleeps at night
Yeah.
or doesn't realize the big disparity between the races in comics doesn't mean she has a problem.
Yeah, just because she's carrying her life in a sack. And
She
living
doesn't
around.
remember agreeing to certain things.
You don't
and-
gotta remember to agree.
Jesus. So she is a pretty deplorable person.
Yeah.
No, I think she's
Oh,
having.
come on.
She's
Stop
a
defending
she's
her.
a female Michael Ravenshadow.
Yes, and she usually gears down in movies too. I was disappointed, but no, she's just working through some stuff. Not deplorable. you can forget things, and not come home on time and not be a deplorable person.
Jesus Christ. This one hit a little close to home, Joe, didn't
I
it?
don't want to talk about it. Yeah, she came home. Eventually, I like the air mattress. I got those.
Yeah, I bet you got one of them. Right?
Is that what you sleep on nowadays?
I kind of relate to some of this.
I don't doubt it.
She's in an empty room
I don't doubt it.
and she's.
You don't have any
frustrated.
furniture?
No, I got a couch.
I found it on the side of the road.
It's like Bobcat Goldthwait. I got a couch.
No, I got more furniture than MZ did when he was selling everything.
Oh, Raven Shadow.
Yes.
In the chat room.
Yes.
I'm going to read what it says. Finally, I'm Broke Son has come back to Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, Bambaleo Paisan in the house. He's my noogie.
So I'm Broke Son is in the house.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
What do you guys compare notes over there?
No, shut up. Mind your own goddamn business and review the fucking movie.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. How about that? Yeah.
So this one is there's a level of spoilery stuff that we can go towards because it's if you see the trailer, it gives away the gimmick.
Oh, really?
In a way, yeah.
Because that's the big reveal, right?
Yeah. So it's not really that big of a reveal.
But don't watch the trailer.
Right. I would
Yeah.
actually recommend that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch the trailers for these when I start.
So do you guys think it's a spoiler if we say like kind of the gimmick here?
No. But here's what I will say. We can't talk about the last 20 minutes at all because it's so obvious, but for some reason I didn't see it coming, that I feel like even the slightest tip-off will kill it.
Yeah. And I do want to talk about the last 20 minutes, but I know that it would be difficult to do so because it has a lot of impact, I think.
And I think if we do reveal that reveal, it might be a push to get someone to watch it that might not watch it.
Well, even if you look at the fucking poster, I mean, it's
Yeah.
the poster pretty much kind of
it kind of gives it away.
I got medical
right?
problems.
But
I can't
even
see
just
that far.
saying that, if you don't know it, if you don't catch onto it, you're going to catch onto it now because we just said, well, it kind of gives it away.
I didn't know.
So we kind of ruined it for you on just based on that. I
No,
know.
didn't know-
they ruined it with the marketing.
I didn't know too much
Yeah, it's
about
a-
it, but I mean, at the same time, this is kind of like when I was talking to Oily Maniac about it today, I cited like "Let the Right One In." If you just focus on the strange relationship between two children, like
Mhm. Yeah.
you're not going to attract the right. You're not using the right sugar to attract
Well,
the
yeah.
right type of flies.
I totally agree. And this, I think that the sort of the not really the I don't want to say subtext, but the metaphor, I guess, is a better word for it. The metaphor used here, I think, is perfect. You know what? I do think we have to say one thing. Like, I saw the trailer. I knew this was coming, and it didn't ruin my enjoyment of it. So I will say that Anne Hathaway's character, Gloria, she can somehow control this huge kaiju monster that's attacking Seoul. Like, in a way, she's able to control it. That's all I'll say about it.
Her actions influence what
Yeah.
the kaiju does.
Yes.
And
So,
okay.
and with that, I will say it's a fucking amazing metaphor for destructive behavior.
Right.
Like, when this all kind of comes together, it seems a little hokey at first. Like, when you kind of find out what happens, it seems a little hokey. But as it progresses, that sort of hokey conceit just kind of dissipates, and you're sucked in and it becomes a compelling story. At least for me, it did.
It is. It's very compelling. It's very interesting. It's there's a certain level of suspense on how far this is going to go, but at the same time, this movie is quite
It's out
comical.
yeah, it's comical and it's out
Very
there, yeah.
funny. And it's kind of surprising that
But
Anne
it's also
Hathaway-
very sweet and touching too.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that funny. That's one thing like that.
No, I laughed. I laughed a lot in this movie. There was so much to laugh at here.
Maybe it reminded me too much of someone I knew, so that I
Why we laugh at him too?
with the destructive behavior.
I was just post aggravated as soon as it started.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I got a good chuckle out of this movie. You know, I'd say about a dozen times. You know, and but there's a sweet story to be told here, and it's got some pretty decent action. I love
The effects were
kaiju
good.
monsters. I think we all love kaiju monsters.
Yeah.
You know, and those are right up our alley.
Well,
and,
your fucking name.
Goddamn right.
It's in your name.
Goddamn right. And it surprises me that Anne Hathaway would take on a role like this, because usually she's known for her, I guess, romantic comedies. I mean, before that whole Princess Bride movies that she used to do when she was a teenager.
But
It wasn't Princess
Oh,
Bride.
not
it
Princess
was
Bride. I meant
Diaries. Was it?
Princess Diaries. I meant to say.
But
yeah.
she was in
She
that.
did play Catwoman too.
She was Catwoman. She was in that movie where she geared down all the time.
With
the drug.
Jerk Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that
Hey,
one.
hey!
Are you a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan?
Jake Gyllenhaal's awesome, man.
Jerk Gyllenhaal.
Fuck.
Wow.
And,
Is that your Ryan Gosling? You behind that?
Wow. You struck a nerve there.
Yeah.
And
He wants the Jerk
Just-
Gyllenhaal.
just the idea of the fantastical nature of this story. It's impressive. I'm really like surprised at how original, I guess you could say, that
Yeah,
this movie is.
yeah.
You can't dispute that this is an original concept. There's no way. Whether you like it or not, I guess, is another thing, but you definitely can't dispute that this is
weird
original.
human symbiotic relationship with a kaiju and a self-destructive personality.
So Cecil says, I love kaiju monsters and kaiju movies, ... So maybe Cecil didn't dig it. Oily, we know Oily loves fucking kaiju movies.
Yeah.
Tom C says, kaiju dancing is great.
Yep.
Yes.
First time Mike says, I'd climb Anne Hathaway. I mean, I like kaiju movies too.
Yes.
The effect of the monsters were good, I thought.
Yeah, I thought the CGI was fun. Like
I thought that monster sometimes was practical. Maybe not the robot, but
It'd
I
be
don't
great if it was
know.
a dude in a suit. It was just like the old school.
I thought it was all
like-
CGI, but I mean,
think there was
anything's
a
possible.
little. I think there was a little bit of suit action going on.
Okay.
I'm almost positive. I would feel a lot better about myself if I knew that there was a man in a suit at some point
Was this
in this
guy
movie.
on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
He was, all right, because
Yep.
he kind of had like a. I didn't watch it during then, but he also had kind of like a Seth MacFarlane kind of like delivery at times.
The setup for this movie is really, really good too. I mean, it has a preamble that you kind of wonder what the hell is going on, especially when there was no subtitles. I'm like, oh,
Right, I was
shit.
concerned.
I'm like, oh shit! Don't tell me they're gonna have the whole movie's gonna be set in Seoul.
Well,
and-
you guys just didn't turn the subtitles on.
Oh yeah.
yeah, well,
Well, Raven Child's know how to fucking do subtitles.
But no, I was about to. I'm like, let me find out where to find all these subtitles that everyone keeps talking about.
and
then I saw Anne Hathaway all day.
Will someone get these subtitles off this motherfucking plane?
All of them didn't know. We were confused.
And Anne Hathaway, you know, I mean, she's a decent actress and all, and she was really good in this. Everybody was good in this,
Yeah.
in fact. It's something about her that just bugs the hell out of me.
pretty.
Pretty. Yep.
No, no, she's not pretty.
She's not?
Honestly, I don't find her to be all that pretty. First of all, that's a fake ass wig, and that was
Jesus.
painfully obvious. But that's not my point. That's not my point.
Why is that a wig?
That's not my point. Shut up.
Exactly like her hair in every other movie.
No.
It's bad bangs.
It might be, but
Are you trying to tell me that fucking
it's a wig?
skin infection was real and this wig is fake?
Yes, that's not her real hair. Even
It looks
it's a
real to
bad
me.
wig. It's a bad wig, Second of all, and this is something that I've been
So
saying.
is your hair.
Something that, and I've been saying this for well over a decade. Okay, and
Pretty
I'll say
people
it,
should die.
and I'll say it, and I'll say it now again. She has got the largest face in Hollywood.
What? I've never heard you say that.
That's like I got to say everything
I've been
to
saying
you.
it for 10 years.
I didn't
What?
say it to you.
What? So I got to say it to you in order to
Who have
validate
you
it?
said it to?
Who else would you
yeah,
talk to?
Who would you? Who
What do you mean?
talk
Who
to?
else would I talk
Yeah,
to?
who would you tell?
All right, your ferret, your girlfriend Zero.
It's just something I've always said.
and Optimus Prime.
Well, if no one hears you, it's like fucking if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it actually fall?
It was like I always
Well, if
tell
a tree
Oliver,
falls and no one's around to hear it, did it really fall in the first place? So I answer that, asshole.
Yeah, this shit
She's
I
got
tell
the largest
Oliver.
face in Hollywood. I'm
That's
telling
not-
you.
I think
Her
that's-
face,
What the fuck?
her face is absolutely enormous. It's too big for her head.
She's not MODOK.
Yeah, she's
Look
not
at
MODOK.
Well,
Look
Modan.
at it. I mean, she's a
The
good actress and all.
largest face in Hollywood.
Her face takes up a lot of real estate on that head of hers. It
Why
does.
is this even a thing?
Look at it. Look at it.
It looks like Jason Sudeikis' face is bigger.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Oh
I
my
love that dude.
fuck. Oh shit! Corny says there's nothing wrong with Anne Hathaway.
Thank you, Corny. Finally, we can agree
Oh,
on
Coney,
something.
shut up.
Jesus Christ.
Julie Meow Meow says, "Oh my God, Anne hath a big face."
According to Montzero, she's got a whole big face.
She does. It's huge. It's something I've always noticed about her.
He saw her in a fucking movie on the big screen. That's why he thinks she's so big.
No,
In
look
that
at
theater,
it.
her head looks
20
so big.
feet high.
Look at the size of her face.
It looks normal.
There's nothing normal about an eye here and eye here.
Creepy
and a
girl
mouth that
says
goes up here.
that's kind of mean. She's cute.
Thank you, creepy girl.
I'm not being
Fine.
mean. I'm not being
Wait,
mean.
Tom-
I'm just bringing up a point.
Tom C says her face isn't as big as Minnie Driver, but it's big.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. No. He would be right. He would be right. But I would think Anne Hathaway's face is bigger.
Cecil says, "Are you implying she has the face of a kaiju?"
You know, it could have been selective casting. That could have very well been it. Wow.
And then Tom
You never
C,
know.
Tom C says her eyes look like they're trying to escape, and she has those big stupid lips. Wow.
Whoa, listen.
I like.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah, your boy over here, Tom C. He's got fucking sweet DSLs.
Plus big lips and big eyes are kind of my thing. That's the one similarity.
I don't know. The lips are kind of nice.
The
but
Mars,
but
the Mars of Fame, the Mars Walk of Fame have in common. Both in real life and.
No, but it's just something. It's just something that I've noticed. It has nothing to do with her ability to act or anything. It's just something that I've noticed. That's all. That's all. Nothing more.
You fucking notice the weirdest shit.
Thank you.
Unfucking believable.
Got the biggest face in Hollywood.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Come on.
Oily says this is the kind of in-depth review I come here for. And Cecil says Anne is pretty, face size aside.
Yeah, she ain't fucking Rocky Dennis.
Long destructions through Korea. Come on, walk in the park.
Yen in my pocket.
Check out the blue sky.
That's Japanese.
Wow.
The song made me because it revolved around that park there. When we were young, my neighbor Bruce wrote and recorded a song called "Walk in the Park."
Was that a movie, My Neighbor Bruce?
No, could have been, because he was now that dude had a big head. If you ever see him, dude, we used to call him Arcane. But the lyrics of the song were, "Come on, walk in the park, check out the blue sky, watch the people walk by, come and have a walk in the park with me." Come on down with me. We're gonna go walk in the park. Come on down and walk in the park with me.
I can't believe it didn't make it
You know,
on 20th
it's-
Century Bastards.
You know, it's a real shame that this movie, as far as I know, didn't make it in any theaters, or maybe
It did.
it did.
Yeah.
Well, I never saw any.
Well, limited release.
Yeah,
but
limited release.
I believe
showings and things like that.
I believe Los Atlantis caught it in the theater.
Lucky her, because I would have loved to have seen this in the theater. This was a good movie. This was a fun movie.
One of the things, in talking about that metaphor, is one of the things I thought was very poignant was I thought that this was a very interesting metaphor for substance abuse and the destructive power and how it affects other people's lives.
That's
So
true.
it's sort of like collateral damage, other people can be hurt by this even though they're not involved in it, right? And I thought that was a really brilliant use of this analogy. Mars, I don't know if I think you were there, but we were talking about how it was in the Hossman chat about how werewolf movies, you can only use certain, sort of social commentary to play into that kind of movie. Were you aware? Were you
No.
there for that? Okay, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. But certain stories or themes or monsters or whatever, they're not going to play with every single type of metaphor that you're doing, right? So, but I thought that this was a perfect use of that metaphor to show, what they're going for, and I just thought that was brilliant. And one of the other things was there's a scene and I think we're getting to it now, we're watching in studio, where Gloria wants to communicate with the people of Seoul. And I just thought that was a really cool, that's sort of like when you're trying to solve your problems, you have to kind of like come to terms with them and be able to communicate them.
Yeah, you got to write letters to people. I don't want to talk about it.
I'm not saying writing letters, but
you got to break down some things.
but communication, right, is key.
Right,
so, and I just thought that
once you recognize there's flaws,
right, you have
that's
to
a step
address
in the
them.
right direction. No, you don't have to address them, but you recognize them, and that can buy you some time.
But I just thought that this played so nicely into her sort of journey. I won't say much more than that, but in her journey and sort of where she began and where she ended up, and I think it just played perfectly. And even sort of dealing with some of the relationships from her past, right? Like that played in perfectly. So I just, this is a total batshit crazy fucking idea, but it works.
Yeah.
And that's almost that alone, be able to fit this in is almost brilliant in itself for me.
You know what? My favorite aspect of this movie, and it should be noted, I think the screenwriter should get some sort of an award because
That's, Nacho.
I think. All right, was it him?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because I think the dialogue in this film was very organic, very natural. I think these characters spoke the way I think people in this situation would speak, and not have that Hollywood, I hate to use that term, but that Hollywood flair for dialogue, in order to spice things up a little bit more. I feel that the dialogue here in this movie is very natural, and that was a nice breath of fresh air for me.
Yeah. Creepy Girl says, the movie was okay, the ending was good, the monsters were cool, but it lost me in the middle. Story felt like it strayed, could have been better, more monster stuff. And Tom C says, the Oscar character made no sense to me. And Creepy Girl says exactly Tom C.
What, the friend?
Yeah.
He was
Why?
kind of important.
He was
Yeah, I don't
very
know
important.
Why didn't he make sense?
I don't know. I thought the first thing when he kind of went a little crazy, but then it made sense, right? Like it all came together. So for me, I don't know. It all ended up coming together and made sense. Tom C says he derailed the movie, and Oily agrees actually too. So
Are you sure?
Tom C says, I don't think he gave enough explanation why he was the way he was. He just was. All right.
That's not true.
I mean,
It's obvious that he loved her,
Yeah.
and then he found himself in a position of power over her, and power corrupts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. That's
You knew from the minute he pulled over in the truck.
Well, I
that
didn't
he had
know
a
that.
thing for her. No, they had a thing for
Oh,
her.
they had to think. Yeah.
I thought he was just checking out her terrible wig.
and her big
head.
face.
Yeah.
And her giant face.
Look at that face. I almost crashed my
Oh
car.
my! Oh my God! Is that a night breed?
Is that moon face?
Who put the pop vinyl in the road? What the fuck?
You, my friend, are the craziest of all the crazy assholes.
Yeah, really.
No, you.
Oh, me? Why? Why
you
me?
are, you asshole.
Why? Why me?
Because you're saying Anne Hathaway has a big face.
She does.
I think Anne Hathaway may be like one of the most I think, in a poll of like 1,000 people, you'd be like the one who didn't think Anne Hathaway was pretty.
Well, she's very attractive, but it's just her face takes up a lot of real estate on her head.
Look at this guy fucking talking. Look at this fucking guy.
You know,
Have you looked at
a lot of real
Wait, have
estate
you
up
looked
on
in the
the
mirror?
You know,
you-
for a hydrocephalic, she's very pretty.
You look like
Have you looked in the mirror lately?
Look, I
you look like
I know I'm not one to talk about other people's faces.
Look how big is that screen.
Oh my God!
You need the fucking
Look how
iPhone
big his
20.
head is.
Look at
I know I'm not one to talk about anybody's face. My face looks like
hi, Globy.
my face looks like Dynamo threw up all over it, you know. But
Slow it down. Don't you?
You look like the
good-looking
fucking
guy.
chair in Pee Wee's Playhouse.
You're a good-looking guy. You got those lips.
Those lips, though.
Those lips, though.
you know, it's very distracting to me. But she does a good enough job where I don't notice it that much.
Oily says Oily says I prefer Brain Damage, Frankenhooker, and Street Trash for my drug metaphors. I'm based like that.
There you go. Who said that?
Oily Mania.
All right.
First time Mike says real kaiju doing real kaiju things. And Oily says real Koreans doing nothing to save soul in this film.
It almost seemed that way,
They
huh? I
kept
mean,
shoot-
it's weird. It's because
They shot her in the boobs.
Is that the good Korea or the bad Korea?
the
That's
good
a good
Korea.
one. That's a
All
good
right.
one.
Yeah, we gotta
That's where
save
that's
them.
where Buddy Tim lives.
Oh, yeah. Saved him.
Yeah.
Creepy Girl says I think it was too organic and not enough for a movie to hold our attention.
I would disagree. I thought the dialogue was very good.
Tom C says, "Oh, did he love her? I didn't get that." Really?
That's sarcasm.
Really?
Bosch says Nightbreed shot in good old Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Man, be
And the creepy
serious.
girl says, "Yeah, I thought he really hated her all along, if I'm remembering it right."
No.
What?
Is she being
What?
crazy?
No.
He clearly loved her.
Yeah.
He pulled over like, oh,
Like-
you're in town. You want to do something? Fucking now?
Yeah, like one of the guys was about to make a move on her and he was getting all pissed off and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cecil says, "Haha, MZ did the chair." Well, I guess I mean obviously this movie didn't work for everyone. If going by what's going on in the. I wish you'd do the Jimmy Del Rey dance.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
There was a whole segment on the Cult of Muscle 2 weeks ago about the Jimmy Del Rey dance.
Really?
Yeah.
You say, listen to our show.
I mean, and the ending, like we were talking about before, about 20 minutes, I would say, yeah. Really interesting stuff going on.
Yeah.
At the same time, I felt that
Oh, great! Now no one could drink out of those dynamo.
I felt the
Drinking pink eye.
I felt the explanation as to
Conjunctivitis on the
why
rocks.
things are happening the way they're happening could have been explained a little bit more clear.
See, I was waiting for it. I almost made that note that you were going to say that.
Yeah.
You love fucking things spelled out for you.
No.
Why is he a Dracula?
Why does everything always have to be a fucking guessing game with you?
What do you mean? I didn't.
Well,
guess.
you got you. What's the matter with just having something handed over to you?
Because I don't think I don't.
Give me
think I needed
$50, MZ, right fucking now.
Fuck off.
It took.
The
It,
wife killed her.
it eliminated the mystical elements of it. The fairy tale.
Hecubus.
Yeah, it ain't.
See, I'm gonna tell you something. One thing I hate in movies, right, is when normal people figure out magic shit on their own. Like, unless you're gonna bring in fucking Merlin or Constantine.
Thank you.
Like, I don't want you to fucking figure that shit out. I don't want you to fucking find your information in a fucking public library.
Tobit's
I don't want you to know.
Spirit Guide.
Nobody ever is like, oh, well, somebody got fucking shot in the road. I gotta go to the fucking Shrewsbury Library and get this fucking book on how to fucking stitch his wound to take a bullet out. Like, this film didn't have room for somebody to figure out why the mechanics of why this was happening. She didn't know what happened at the end would work. She just had a hunch.
No. I'm not talking about that.
But I mean, in general, like,
I'm not talking about that part.
No,
I'm
but I mean
I'm
the
talking
whole-
about the flashback part.
because he was a dick.
Yeah.
What else you need?
Like flatliners.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
He's a slapdick.
Corny says
I
I
love
just
slapdick comedies.
Corny says I just sprayed sweet tea out of my nose when Mars called MZ the chair. Cecil says exposition and dialogue is needed, but it is the worst, and convenient solutions are low stakes. Okay. Most of my notes, the rest of my notes are pretty much about stuff we probably shouldn't talk about. But what I will say is, I think my favorite scene in this movie is, so after Gloria takes her flight, and there's a scene where Gloria is confidently walking towards Oscar at the end, was like a big fuck yeah for me, because that was like a culmination of everything, right? And she kind of realized what was wrong and what she needed to do to fix it, and how she's dealing with all these other issues. I just that was like a fist pump moment, you know?
Yeah. No, there was definitely a few cheerful moments in here where you stand up and go, "Yeah, all right."
I'm cheerful.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nah, this movie was a blast. I had a lot of fun with this flick. I mean, it has kaiju monsters and robots. I mean, how could you go wrong? Right. You can't go wrong with something like that, you know? Like a movie like Big Man Japan, which is fucking awesome. If you ever get a chance to see it, I highly recommend it. And this was just too much fun. I enjoyed it. It was funny.
Yeah.
It was just a good time. Very well made.
All big heads and wigs aside.
And I think it was a good sort of, I don't know if I'd call it a coming of age movie, but just the journey that Gloria takes, I thought was really kind of rewarding, you know? Especially, like I said, I thought she was kind of deplorable at the beginning, and how she sort of ended up, I thought was really kind of a nice journey.
Well, she's also helping herself. She's stopping herself from being the destructive person that she once was. Whenever anybody's offering her a beer, she's like, "Nah, I don't want any of that," you know. So she realizes the problem that she created for herself at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And she tries to rectify that throughout the film until she realizes she's creating more destruction more than she realizes.
Julie Meow Meow says, "Remember the Nightmare on Elm Street remake? They figured out what was going on by visiting the library."
Yeah, it's fucking outrageous. Pisses me off so much. People
Jesus.
That's my favorite scene From Dusk Till Dawn. Has anybody ever read a book on vampires? You mean like a Time Life book?
Yeah.
Wow, who would even remember the Nightmare on Elm Street remake?
Not me.
I watched it once, and that was it.
Julie
for me.
Meow Meow. She's an encyclopedia of knowledge.
Apparently. Or she's a fan of the remake.
Oh, but you know what I mean? That never,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's always if you figure out some fucking magic shit, you better have some fucking magic Van Helsing person there to tell you. That's where that exposition has to come from. It can't come from fucking, I found this book at Barnes & Noble that says you have to throw Jason Voorhees under the water.
Oh, I Googled that I have to hit him under the fucking shin on a sunny day ending in fucking Y. They all end in Y.
And Mars has got to be in retrograde and aligned with the moon.
Well, and if that was the case, if something like that was the case, it would have really taken away a big impact of the movie.
I agree.
Right.
So yeah, I thought that was great. Her kind of exploration about figuring out what to do, because when you are facing these problems, you kind of don't know what the answer is. You know, you can be guided, but you have to figure them out on your own. You know,
takes time.
And are you going through a Raven Shadow?
No, I don't even want to talk about it. This better be a fucking trilogy.
I bet you those bags under her eyes are real, Monster Zero.
Those are fake bags.
They kept her awake for 2 days just
Those
so they
aren't
could get real
bags.
bags.
Those aren't bags. Those are her eyes.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's fake knees.
She's got a big face.
His face is bigger than hers.
Her face is huge. I'm not even talking about him.
It's not huge.
It's not huge.
It is huge.
It's not. It's normal size.
Yeah.
That's like you saying you have a normal-sized ass.
I have a very small ass.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Show us.
No.
Oh no!
Yeah,
no! Fucking asked for it.
Oh, shit!
Oh
Oh,
no!
my God!
Oh God! I see it every fucking time. And dude never wears a belt.
It's not big.
Ugh.
Is that a big ass microwave?
I don't know.
No, that's medium.
It's a fucking
It's them.
smelly ass. I'll tell you that much.
Is someone burning garbage?
Wow.
I wasn't going to say anything about your review, but now that you bring it up. Yeah, her face is normal size.
Yeah.
Crazy asshole.
Crazy asshole.
You're a crazy fucking asshole.
What is he, a crazy asshole?
Oh, Jesus Christ! There's way too much male nudity on this show.
Never enough.
Tom C says, if you could control a kaiju, would you be monster or robot?
Monster.
Robot.
Ooh, boy, that's tough.
Robot.
I'll take monster.
I'll take robot, man.
Oh, am I the only monster?
I said monster.
Oh, okay.
I think
Me and Raven Shadow versus the fucking robot boys.
Yeah, you fucking bad days. We'll fucking play that theme song, scare you guys.
Yeah. Intergalactic planetary.
This is Johnny 5, and I'm R2D2.
Tom C says, I want robot who could have rockets and lasers.
Like robot jerks.
Yeah.
Rover jerk.
Rubber jerk.
Yeah, but
Herman
you
jerk.
wouldn't be completely sentient. You'd have to, you need a monster brain.
A monster.
A monster
Did you
brain.
say masta like pasta?
No, like monster.
A monster brain?
Monster brain.
He said sentient, right? So something.
Cecil
I know,
says,
go figure, right?
Cecil says, flying monster, gotta go with my speed demon Fire Rodon. He was my favorite version.
Yeah.
There you go.
And First Time Mike says, I don't mind it if it's the I found a journal that has the solution book cliche, but I see your point on the books.
Yeah. It's, if you have, you just gotta work a little, like.
Right, a magic journal.
Yeah.
If a crazy old hermit
Like
had
the
a
craft made it like a little too easy. Like you just fucking find the shit that you find,
Right, right.
you know.
Right, but yeah, like Time Life books.
Right.
If it's on, in the price reduced section of Barnes and Noble.
And big surprise, Oily says kaiju because it's a god monster.
Thank you.
And Tom C says Rover jerks.
Yeah. Now I got the Love Spit Love version of that Smith song stuck in my head because I'm thinking of the fucking Craft.
The Witch movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Which
shut your mouth. How MZ says your head was put the long way.
All right. Does anyone have anything else to add? I feel like, we can't really broach the last 20 minutes too much, so I don't want to go too much further. Anyone else have anything that we haven't brought up?
No.
No. All right. Well, let's go to the verdict. Turn the volume up. That'll help.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right. Verdict time. I'm going to let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat, and any final thoughts we may have. Raven Shadow.
I was very concerned, but I really thought this movie might be colossal. But I actually enjoyed it.
This kid's Michael Dudek off the hook. I hope I didn't steal that from the Cult of Muscle. I may have stole that from the Cult of Muscle. Sometimes I hear things in my sleep.
I had a dream. So it was a treat.
All right, MZ.
I had a lot of fun with this flick. I laughed a lot, and the monster battles are great. I get a kick out of them. Everyone's performance was really, really good. I thought the dialogue was great, and very natural settings too around in the small town that she decides to move back into. So a lot of organics in this movie, but a lot of fun as well. This is a high-end treat.
Marsman.
Well, Johnny.
Yes.
Since I am no longer using my New England accent per Michael Koopmans, I find this film to be a resounding treat.
Okay. That's it?
Yeah, that's all. That's all I have to say about this film in my non-New England accent.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, so for me, this flick was a treat. I thought this was a very well-conceived film. It's an idea that very easily could have gone off the rails and could have been absolutely ridiculous, but it towed that line perfectly, and I think it hit all the right notes for me. It's such a great idea to use a kaiju film as a metaphor for destructive behavior, And Nacho Vigalondo has huge fucking balls for making this flick. This could have went south really fast. But it was really fun and touching, and I just overall really enjoyed this flick. And Anne Hathaway has a regular-sized face. So treat for me, treats all around.
Her face is actually proportionate to the rest of her wonderful body. And her incredible acting skills.
And actually, we haven't really talked about the performance. I thought she was quite good in this as well.
I thought everyone was great, Johnny.
Okay.
I do too, Johnny. I do.
This was
too.
a great Master movie.
It was a monster movie.
Master.
Master versus robots.
All right, so that's going to do it for Colossal. We dug it. Check it out, folks, on VOD. And next week, Marsman.
Yeah.
We're going to do something a little different. We're going to step away from VOD land, step away from new releases. We're going back, I think to 1982. Does that sound right?
Yeah, dude.
Back to 1982. Raven Shadow's been asking for a kung fu flick. Mars, tell them what we're doing.
We are doing a little ditty that I like to call, just me, no one else calls it that, Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave.
Thank you.
It's got some sleaze, it's got some kicks.
Perfect.
Some monsters.
Is there monsters in it? I'm going to watch that on
YouTube.
Okay,
Yep.
that was my next question.
So this flick,
can I call you?
if you don't know how to use fucking YouTube, I can't help you.
All right, but if it just says I couldn't, what if I couldn't?
Oh,
figure it
don't
out?
tell
Can
me
I
you
call
can't use YouTube.
I'm not calling you.
No, I ain't answering the call.
God damn it.
Can you you really can't play YouTube? You can't figure it
No,
out.
I can't. I watch Trick or Treat Radio every Friday morning. Can't do that.
So it is Kung Fu
Not
from
good.
Beyond the Grave is available on YouTube. Just search for Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave, and I believe it's the first one that pops up. It's not the trailer; it's the full
movie.
film.
Oh wow,
90 minutes.
Yep.
So MZ found it. Look at
Yep.
that! Look at that, Rain Shadow.
come on.
MZ found it like that.
Yep, it's from the Wu-Tang collection. Wu-Tang.
That's the user Wu-Tang Collection.
Yeah,
so.
Can I borrow your phone?
No.
So if you guys want to play along at home, please, Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave. It is available on YouTube or Amazon Prime. Like if you guys have Amazon Prime, you can get a better version of it, right, Mars? Looks
yep.
a little better.
Yeah, a little. I mean, the aspect ratio is better.
So there you have it, folks. Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave. And this is Oily had asked for some stuff that was available on free streaming. And
I have a recommendation.
Oh, you have a recommendation too?
Yeah, dude. Well, I have a review of sorts.
Okay, hold on one
Yep.
sec. Let me catch up in the chat room. And Courtney says, Nacho said on an interview with Kevin Smith that Anne was a couple months pregnant when they filmed this.
In her third trimester, I think it said on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty pregnant.
Courtney says, you guys are killing me tonight. We don't want you to die,
Yeah.
Schlegoth.
Yeah.
We love you, buddy.
Slagoff said it or Corny? I
Yeah.
don't want either one of them to die, but one of them will definitely botch up my political aspirations.
First time Mike says, whoever has Dynamo shows his ass tonight wins tonight's pool.
Julie wasn't looking at that, was she? I didn't want to see that.
Cesspool.
Cecil says, Psst, you guys want to go steal some slogans from the Cult of Muscle?
Yeah. did I steal that, Cecil?
Maybe.
I don't understand. We're reviewing this movie, which I got no problem with, but we're refused to review a Wang Wang film. I don't get it, man.
I didn't refuse.
Well, you haven't accepted it.
No.
I've only been asking for the past 2 years.
Well, be a little more forceful.
You will not be disappointed with this.
Oh, I bet I'm looking forward to watching it. It looks like a classic. Sounds like a classic. But these Wang Wang films are great, man.
Tom C says, I wish MZ would show his knockers.
No,
No.
Julie Meow Meow says, 80s movie, yeah!
this is not that. Don't.
Oily says, can Raven Shadow access YouTube?
Hopefully, Creepy Girl and Julie didn't see my bum.
Oh,
Be embarrassed.
Julie says, welcome to my wheelhouse, 80s movies.
That's
Oh.
right.
I thought
And
you were talking about my bum.
Oily says, I've not seen this film. We'll check it out. Awesome.
Oh, Oily. See, good. Well, that's good because the film I watched to tell you about this week, Oily. We'll get to that in a minute.
And then first time Mike, in relation to Oily's Can Raven Shadow access YouTube question, first time Mike says, this and many other questions will be answered next week live on Trick or Treat Radio.
Looks like
Oh, shit. We got Carlos here for the first time. What's up, Carlos? Carlos says, hey, guys, first
Hey.
time.
All right.
Carlos has been very helpful with PS4 stuff. And by the way, Carlos, I got my PS4. It's finally hooked up. I got my PlayStation Plus. I just need to go ahead and purchase Friday the 13th and Dead by Daylight, which may have to wait till I get paid.
How much
Great.
does
Now can you help Raven Shadow with his YouTube?
No.
Not
how much
you.
is PlayStation Plus?
Not you.
You can get it for $60 for the year.
I'll never get it
Why?
because I'm about to have literally no money.
Okay. Well, if anyone out there wants to help Mars out, no.
They already have helped me out
Oh, okay.
so much. Everybody's helped me so much.
Everyone's being super cool, saying hi to Carlos. And Carlos says, hey, guys, finally, been waiting to come on here. It's good to have you, my friend. Thank you for joining us.
For sure.
And
For 4.
For 4?
There's one thing I want to
You
fucking...
were going to do a review.
But, well, get ready to do my review?
No, I said you were going to.
Well, there's something else I want to
Okay.
talk about, too,
Yeah, go
but
ahead.
I can do whatever you want first.
Talk about the thing you were just about to say.
So, I have my surgery in just a few days. Two more... Counting this show in 3 shows, the next day I will wake up and have my neck cut open and hopefully come out the other end the same me that I am or better. And after that, I will be getting ready for Rock and Shock. And if you haven't considered coming down to Rock and Shock, you're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be an amazing evening. Consisting of Beaver McD, which is going to be Cajuns of Chaos. I always fucking do that. Which is going to be one of their last shows. The Amazing Teal. And the Deadites. Maybe some other surprises, too.
And that is on Friday the 13th, October 13th.
Yep. It'll be my special lady friend's first day out. It'll be a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, please... Yep, please come down and party with us. Don't forget it. Now, my dear friend Oily, I'm going to call this little segment the Oily Streamer, asked us to tackle some films that are streaming on different services if they're worth it, specifically like Amazon Prime. And one film I watched on Amazon Prime is a film called The 4 Invincibles. On Amazon Prime, though, it is called 4, the number 4, Invincible. And it's in the crippled fighter kung fu vein. It is dubbed by a British cast. I was with this for the first 20 minutes, and then it got fucking awful.
Ooh,
and when it got awful, all of the shit that I liked about it, like, you know how the instant double standard you get when you're watching sleazy, deplorable stuff, but everything else is awesome about it? Like, and then imagine that, but then the bottom drops out, and then you have like that sort of guilt and stuff like that. Yeah, I wasn't into this. If you can come across this for free, or I think it is also on YouTube, maybe check that out. But when going for your searches, Oily and everyone else, I would leave this one on the cutting room floor. I would not recommend the 4 Invincible. It is definitely a trick. Next week I will have another one for you.
All right. There you have it. Trick. And let's see. So Slagoth says, I was offered a ticket to fly up there, but the person doesn't talk to me anymore, so I'm still working on it, brothers.
Oh.
It looks like Creepy Girl's upset about something. What, you watched his request and not mine?
No.
Whose request?
I don't know.
No, I didn't. I watched this because I could download it on the airplane home from Long Beach. Yeah, no one told me to watch this. It just looked... I queued up 500 Kung Fu films on my Amazon Prime, and this was the next one.
Yeah. Tom C says, Teal! Deadites are cool, too.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
And Julie Meow Meow says, I was watching Mars. It's okay. Nudity is natural.
Not that kind of nudity. Turn into Nightbreed. Midian's where the masters live. I want Cornelius and Julie to come to fucking Rock and Shock.
Yeah.
What WTF?
Yeah.
It is going to be the party of the year.
It already is. It hasn't even happened.
Yep. And I am going to be celebrating the start of my new life. So
Oh, you getting that boob job?
Yeah.
Trans.
I'd settle for any job right now.
A hand job from MZ?
Yeah. Fuck off. That ain't happening.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
All right, well, we're going to head to a break. We're going to come back, play some voicemail, talk a little about George Romero, and then we're going to wrap things up. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the Cult of Muscle.
I'm Alex West. And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
All right, we've returned, everyone. We're here on Trick or Treat Radio. And let's talk a little bit about the legend that we just lost. Now, I know most of you guys have met the man. MZ, you've met George Romero?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I know Mars did. He got his picture taken with him, and he recently put that up on the Deadites group, or Deadites page.
Mm-hmm.
So, nothing, I didn't have anything prepared for this, so we're just kind of shooting. And Romero was such an impact on horror, and he very rarely stepped outside of horror, right? Did he do what did he do?
Well, before he went into horror, he used to do commercials for Iron City Beer and for Calgon, and then he also directed some episodes of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he did know Mr. Rogers, and he kind of like, that's where he kind of got to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
exactly.
is fucking nuts, right?
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's weird. And even, goddamn, even the, I forget the name of the chef that was on that show, Chef Brockett. He played a zombie in Day of the Dead, actually. So the ties to Fred Rogers goes all the way up until Day of the Dead.
Yep.
And he also used to do these shows, these sporting shows, where he used to film these segments with football players, basketball players. And he also did one with O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, Juice on the Loose.
Yeah, the Juice is on the Loose. That's exactly it. Yeah, Juice on the Loose.
After, so he did Knight Riders.
1981.
Well, let me first, just real quick, Carlos actually points out there's always vanilla was not horror.
Right.
So he did do.
That's true. Yeah.
That was his follow-up to Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, that's basically George's lost film. It is out on DVD. Still considered a lost film, I think, by most people, but it's not a terrible film. You know, I've definitely seen better, but it's essential to watch to see how Romero grew as a director.
Yeah,
you could see the work in him, and the wheels are spinning. You could tell what his style was going to become.
So, I mean, even if he had just made Night of the Living Dead, he would have been an icon, right?
A poor icon, though.
Well, yeah, granted. I mean, that's an interesting story in itself. I mean, it's certainly, not the focus of this, but I mean, man, like, I wonder if Night of the Living Dead would have had the popularity if it had been properly copywritten.
Yeah.
It's interesting is to think that a film that it's a shame because George would have made a lot of money off of it, but would it have been as successful if it wasn't able to be so easily accessible?
I think so because the success of a movie, I feel should be based on on how well the film is, how good the film is.
I got my first copy of this as a cutout VHS in a bin at a Toys R Us.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I feel like almost everybody probably has a story like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there being, and I went back and I bought it again the next week because it was another one in the bin with an exactly different cover from a different company.
Yeah.
This film, in its availability in the VHS era, was prolific because no one owned it. And I think
had to have been at least 40 or 45 different companies.
And in its midnight movie status that came from the fact that multiple people were selling it at not very much of a premium for the rental fees. So I think that wealth-wise, it did not do him any favor. But I feel like Uncle George could almost owe the success of his career to this film not getting the right licensing and being everywhere.
Yeah, he just didn't sign where he just didn't sign on the dotted line.
That's
where
not
he
what
was
happened.
supposed to.
Actually, it had a different name, and
Yeah,
in those days, the copyright was actually kind of on the first frame of the film, the title frame, and they changed the title of the movie. So George was set up for Night of the Flesh Eaters.
Night of the Flesh Eaters.
So yeah, I think that that definitely owes it. I mean, think about it. Not for nothing, but like. Would you have ever heard of would the guy who made Knight Riders be able to make another movie? If Dawn of the Dead, if Night of the Living Dead wasn't a fucking phenomenon because of its availability and the amount of time that it was in, double bill matinees and drive-ins, and it's maybe it was probably the second midnight movie. After El Tupo, like that's why this film was known, not because of how good it was. We actually were speaking the other day in the Hossman group that hard work and craftsmanship has very little to do with success. So
No, I understand that. I agree. The availability of it certainly helped, but in order for people to purchase it, you gotta at the very least be somewhat interested in it.
Yeah.
This just happened to be a good movie. I mean, there
fact
are a lot of movies out there that are in public domain.
Right.
The fact that you
people
could
don't
buy
even
it for
touch.
like $2 though.
Yeah.
But this film allowed him, in its availability, afforded him the opportunity to have a not very commercial first start of his career and still keep making films.
It was still something on his resume, though, right? Like he was still the
yeah.
guy that did it.
Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that
yeah.
didn't- yeah.
So at least he had
But that didn't
going.
matter.
But
You know, you had to be able to show, usually to make a movie, even still, right? You had to be able to show that you made a movie, and your movie made some money, right?
Right.
Like, you know, right now there's a weird thing going on where Marvel and bigger studios are doing the old, I see something in you, kid. And the guy that made Cop, Car, and Clown gets to make Spider-Man. But, you know, the reality is, like, if you're a director back in the fucking 80s when you had to, like, sing for your supper every single time, or in the 60s and the 70s, it was based on the fact, like, well, you made me a lot of money with this, so I'll give you a little more money to make this, you know, or if you made $10 with me for, you know, Redhead Babysitter Gangbang, so I'll give you $20 to make this big movie for me, and I'll also give you $5 to make, you know, your All Dogs Go to Heaven passion piece.
Yeah, right.
So like, you know, like it's you know, it's very much a business, and the fact that he made a movie that was good at that time, he had nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was the real kick in the face with him, and I can only imagine the amount of nights he went to sleep.
Well,
that he went to sleep.
that he went to sleep probably every night.
77 nights.
No. You know, if staying awake thinking about, you know, what could have been.
Well, here's the thing, though. I got to say, the first time I ever saw Night of the Living Dead was actually in the theater. It was actually at the Worcester Artist Group, a.k.a. the WAG. For those who you're in for a treat.
Mars, you son of a fuck!
What?
He was just wafting near his crotch towards you. You can't smell that?
No,
I can.
Night of the Living Stench.
Yeah.
But no, I saw it was a back-to-back. It was Night of the Living Dead and then Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I saw
Nice.
them both for the first time.
Yeah, I saw that too. I might have been at that one.
Yeah, it was cool. We had fire extinguishers for
For people like you smoking in the theater.
That was fun back
For the
then.
flashbacks?
For the flashbacks. But no, and I also too in the early 2000s picked up Night of the Living Dead for like $1 at the Walmart bin. Yeah.
So let me go back a little bit here in the chat. Julie Meow Meow says, I'll send you all a voodoo doll myself to take a rock and shock. Just throw it in a glass of whiskey.
Ooh, sold. All right. Send it to 1313 Raven Shadow Lane.
Julie Meow Meow and Cornelius, I'm not giving up on you. Southern Carpool 2017.
Creepy Girl says, what was the very first zombie film ever? And Carlos answers and says, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Yeah, it's a fair. I mean
I would agree with that.
But Romero invented
the modern day zombies, where they were flesh eaters.
Not the
there was voodoo zombies,
not the hokum zombies.
Yeah, the old Val Lewton. I walked with the zombie movies and things like that back in the 40s. That was going on for a long time, and then Romero just decided to turn it on its ear and say, you know what, we're going to make these zombies, we're going to make them flesh eaters this time, and it's stuck ever since. And pop culture is just swamped with them.
It's
now.
one of the two most influential zombie films ever.
Second one?
Return.
Okay.
That's why zombies in popular culture eat brains.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yep, that is true. Carlos says Dawn 1978 is the best for me. I agree,
baby.
That is my favorite
zombie
film of all time.
Right up there on the wall, that's an original.
That's
an original Dawn of the Dead poster.
Yep.
Zombie and Dawn flip back and forth for me, depending on. But
Zombie.
I mean, Dawn of the Dead is probably responsible for my hang-up of loving people with guns versus monsters. You know. Like,
It's for me. It's Night. that first story just grabs you, man. I just love it.
Julie does bring up a good point. It wouldn't have taken off had it not been a gem, referring to Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I did want to say was just looking, I mean, we're so far removed because it came out in 1968. Like, none of us were around then, you know? And none of us were really around then. And it cost $114,000 for a budget back then. That was a pretty good amount of money, even though that was still an indie film at the time, you know? And then it ended up becoming a financial success, grossing $12 million domestically and $18 million internationally. The problem is, I don't know, was that in right after its release? Is that over time? I don't know what that number means, but it's obviously been a cult classic since, and it's also has been selected. It is in the Library of Congress for preservation in the National Film Registry as a film deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, which it absolutely is.
Oh, absolutely. On more than just the pop culture of zombies, it also features Dwayne Jones, which is the
Dwayne
first.
The Rock Jones.
Shut up. Which is the Night of the Living Dead is the first film in which a black lead is in charge of a film, but it has nothing to do with his skin color. Which
George had said that he was just the best actor for the role.
That's right.
It was originally written for a white actor, like, you know, just written with a white character in mind.
Yeah,
with the same ending.
Yeah. Everything was the same.
Everything
Nothing
was the same.
changed. Nothing changed.
The interesting thing is George has said that it just was kind of accidental that it became this sort of social commentary about racism. You know, so it's really kind of crazy. Like, and I love that he didn't like retcon that and be like, oh yeah, I totally intended it to be like, you know, George he was a very humble guy, and you know he just sort of was a straight shooter, and he was like, yeah, we didn't know. Like, we just thought that Dwayne was the best actor. We cast him in the role. We kept the script entirely the same. We didn't change it because we had a black actor. We just kept it exactly the same. And it just became a very sort of poignant, you know, kind of role for him. You know?
Although George has mentioned in later years, he does think back and say, well, maybe we should have made a mention about his skin color in the script somewhere. And I'm thinking, you know what? No, you did it right, man. You didn't touch a thing.
Yeah,
that's the smartest thing he did.
Did they do that in the remake? Did they make any reference to it?
The
Tony Todd one?
It's been a while for me.
I don't know. No, they didn't.
The tone of the remake is different, though, because that character,
I only saw it like once or twice.
He kind of drove home that both the male leads were idiots.
Yeah.
You know, which was kind of something that was in the first one. You know, you know, it was sort of a subtle meditation on charisma and not always equaling right, because if you look at the end of the day, I forget the original actor's name. Tom Towles played him in the remake, but that character was, you know, was right. Cooper was right.
Yeah, in the end, Cooper was exactly right. Carl Hardman.
You know, like it's really an interesting thing. I can't stop. It's so funny that you brought that up, because it's the first time I stopped thinking of it. CDR recently watched this, and he was talking about it in the lifting section of Cult of Muscle, and he kept doing imitations of the stuff that Tom Towles says in it. You're a bunch of yo-yos. And he was yelling it, and imagine getting woke up in the middle of the night with your headphones on, this CDI yelling, "Y'all a bunch of ding-dongs!" on it.
So Julie Meow Meow says, yeah, it's all the more realistic because it focuses on the human interaction and how they react in emergencies. First Time Mike says, and how humans will turn on each other in a heartbeat. Cecil asks an interesting question. Favorite Romero good guy and favorite Romero bad guy? Cecil says, for bad guy, Captain Rhodes. Good guy, Peter and Don. It's an interesting question. We can think about that. I don't have to answer it right away. Cecil says Ben in Night is amazing, though. And Carlos also has that poster, MZ, the Dawn of the Dead. He says he's not sure if it's an original, though.
Well, it says here on the lower right-hand corner, it says in bold print "Dawn of the Dead." If it says that, then chances are it's an original.
Says it in big red.
Normally it doesn't. There's also not just a red one, but there's a more rare green Dawn of the Dead poster out there that has the green Dawn of the Dead, and that's a little bit more rare. But I was lucky enough to, not really so much lucky. I just happened to, I had $10 in my pocket. I bought it, and that was it.
Yeah.
I bought this back in like 1990.
He's got a little change in his pocket going jing-a-ling-a-lang. Call you the poster man. You got the green thing? Honky, honky, honky.
Uh,
I don't think that's honky, honky, honky.
Honky, honky. That's your fucking nickname.
Honky, honky, honky.
Is that what Girlfriend Zero says? Yeah. No hugging, no kissing until I get a wedding ring.
Yep, and then she tells me to fuck off.
Fuck off.
Julie Meow Meow says kind of like Ripley in Alien. Wasn't the part supposed to be a guy? I may be wrong.
Originally
no. She's right. She's right. It was
she's 100% right. It was originally written.
Yeah, it was still two women on the Nostromo, but the Ripley was supposed to be a man.
And then they originally tried to make the captain a woman in one draft too.
Mm-hmm. Scarrett.
Yeah. So. No hugging, no kissing until I get a wedding ring.
Jesus, you're actually quoting.
Don't
Georgia
tell me
Satellite.
no lines and keep that poster to yourself.
Fucking Georgia Satellites. Get the hell out of
Richie, why is my broom here?
So go visit your mother.
Oily says, weird. I bought the Green Dawn poster in '91 for $10.
Nice.
Oh, he just fucking schools you.
Yeah, he fucking told you.
He said, go fuck yourself.
What? I just
Yeah,
said
go
it's a little
fuck
bit more-
yourself.
Oily had a little change in his pocket going jing-a-ling-a-ling. He told MZ on the chat room, your post ain't no thing.
It ain't green.
Each time you say, I got the original green. Oh shit! Somebody got a brain buster.
Oh shit!
That's Abdul the Kobayashi, folks.
That's Tomato Face.
No, it's Abdul the Kobayashi.
Oh.
It's my dude.
But
One of the few
then you
deathmatch
go over to
wrestlers
the.
I love.
You go from Night to There's Always Vanilla, and then he started in with the Crazies, and the Crazies.
Oh, I fucking love the Crazies.
I fucking love the Crazies. It is a hectic, loud movie.
Great.
And it doesn't stop for 2 hours. It just doesn't stop.
Well, here's the thing. Now this is not I just never saw the original. I saw the remake.
Oh God.
That's all I've seen, though. That's all I've seen.
I don't mind the
gotta
remake.
see the original.
Actually, the remake is okay, but the original's fucking.
How
original
different is it?
Night and day. No
Is
pun
it really?
intended.
Is it really? I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know.
No, you got to see the original. It's so fucking good.
Really?
So good. Oh.
I can hook you up
my
every
God.
channel.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
No, it's really fucking good.
I got a little change in my pocket. Stop now.
Okay.
What's wrong? The fuck was it? Honky, honky. It's like you would turn into. It's like you went to that place in Pinocchio.
But that's what it sounds like to me. Because Georgia Satellite's very Caucasian.
Oily says, "Whoa, I didn't mean to tell anyone to go fuck themselves."
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Yes,
Oily.
you
It's
fucking did.
And then he goes over to Dawn, and Dawn is just fantastic.
He's my dude.
Look at this dude on the
Nice.
on the screen. We're watching
Hey, I
now.
know that guy.
I know that dude.
So, we could keep going on and talking. The Crazies is fucking great, and then after that, he did the next feature film he did was Martin.
Martin, that's right.
Martin.
Not that Martin.
Martin.
But Martin is also like a very underrated film.
Good vampire flick.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, dude.
I've never seen it.
John
Seriously,
Amplas as the title character of Martin. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. You should definitely check that one out.
Yeah.
Raven Shadow.
Yeah.
And then he followed it up with Dawn of the Dead, 1978's Dawn of the Dead. Which
Never
is
heard of it.
He get paid for that one?
Fucking yes. Yeah. Fucking amazing film. And that one may be the more, even though Night sort of started it, I think that may have been sort of the template for the modern day zombie movie.
Oh, sure. I mean, there were other movies before that, like Living Dead at Manchester Morgue and films of that nature.
Yep.
But it was Dawn
That's a good one, though.
It's a fantastic flick. But it was Dawn that really sealed the modern day zombie flick. And after this, the floodgates just broke loose and everyone started making zombie films.
So this was 10 years after Night of the Living Dead. And I'm getting my information from Wikipedia, so, take it for what you will. Budget $1.5 million, box office $55 million.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive back in 78 for that, I would say.
Wow.
And it's still growing.
Yeah, absolutely. So that, to me, is that's my favorite zombie movie, definitely. And I really think that it was super influential for the zombie media that we see nowadays. That's sort of the template, I think. And he, whether, once again, intentionally or not, he tackled another sort of social commentary with, taking place in the mall.
Consumerism.
Yeah, and, like I said, I don't know if it was intended. I haven't heard him talk about it. Have you, MZ? I know you've seen pretty much every single fucking version of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard George talk about, was the social commentary about consumerism, was that intentional?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And not only that, but it also talks about how we as consumers have become zombies.
Yeah.
There's a I was thinking about it earlier today, as a matter of fact, where there's a line in which Peter says, and this is during the gangbang scene, where the gangbangers come into the mall.
Oh, okay.
It's a very different film for a second.
Yeah.
We're going to work on definitions.
And
this was during the Bukkake Massacre.
Dick of the Dead.
The Texas Bukkake Massacre.
Oh, God.
Bob ShamWow.
You were saying.
All right, and I was saying, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, there's a scene where Peter says during the gangs coming in, saying, "There's gonna be 1,000 zombies in here," and not only that was at the only moment. Now a lot of I always thought that was in reference to the zombies that were already in there, that they're fighting off against and things like that. And the more I thought about it, because that would have been the first time and the only time actually in the Romero films in which they're referred to as zombies. But the more I thought about it, the more I got to thinking that maybe he was referring to the gangs coming in, because they're the ones who are equally zombies. They're just not feeding on flesh. They're zombies to the consumer. The consumerism that's sitting in front of them as they break into the mall, stealing silver goblets and stealing TVs and mannequins and big Mexican hats and things like that and jewelry, and I'm thinking when he says there's gonna be 1,000 zombies in here, the more I think about it, the more I think he's talking about the gangs rather than the actual zombies. But that's me.
Yes, that is you.
Thank you.
Wolfie, I'm going to send you something for the peoples.
For the peoples.
Yeah, I'll send it on Facebook.
Okay.
What the hell name do you have? There you go.
What the hell name do you have?
I got you under a few.
And then he did Night Riders.
Carlos says gangbang scene.
There you go.
And Cornelius called it Dong of the Dead.
Yeah.
Bukkake of the Dead is what Carlos called it. Oily says MZ's porn and Dawn are similar. He gets confused at times.
It's a common mistake.
Dennis Hopper says Zombie and Land.
Nice.
All right, what am I doing here, Mars?
Playing
this?
Yeah, that's I think
Bong, gong, bong. Gang bang, gang bang, gang bang.
What the fuck is this?
approchent!
La vengeance des zombies partouzeurs.
Sounds like Bass Rutten. Ganga Bong.
Oh, this isn't going to end well at all.
Terrifyingly different.
Starring Rip Rockwell and Susie Cheesecake.
Gang bang. Gang bang.
Wow.
Treat.
Treat.
Oh mon Dieu. Tiens, aide-moi avec ces planches. Il faut faire vite. On va condamner les fenêtres.
Oh my God.
So
Si ces zombies entrent,
this is
ils
playing
vont
like
piquer
Night of the
mort.
Living Dead, by the way.
Yeah.
It's black and white.
Yep.
With French.
French. These are the zombies saying gang bang.
I imagine that's Barbara.
It's gonna be like a Jared Blinkhorn film.
Ça les
We
empêchera
could be
jamais
extras.
d'entrer.
Oh, je n'ai plus de planches.
Bah, t'as qu'à prendre mon gourdin.
Whoa! Oh, here's the pizza and here's the pepperoni.
So zombies at the door. A hero.
Burn.
Des zombies partouzeurs.
Mars.
What?
Whoa! What do you?
What? Now, why did you find that so
poor
quick?
taste.
Because I had seen it before.
Let's just say it
She didn't
ends.
say how it tasted.
There's a little splash of inappropriateness.
You think?
Gong
bong.
bong. Oh, that's funny. Wow.
Gang bang.
Gong bong.
Gang bang. Gang bang.
Gonga da bonga bonga donga.
La vengeance.
Like ganga bong. Ganga bong. What the fuck?
Gong bong. Play the end again.
And I think that's as good of a reason for our Romero tribute to end.
Yeah.
I think what we're
You
trying to
just
say
fucking
is
killed it.
Thank you, George.
Gang bang. Gang bang.
Wow.
Gang bang.
The narrator really gets into it, huh?
It sounds like Bass Rutten, doesn't it?
This ain't Axel Braun.
Gang bang. Gang bang. Gang bang.
Ganga bong.
Gang bang. Gang bang.
Gonga bong.
Here you go, Ramchow. Here's the end for
There
you.
you go.
Prepare to get drenched by the sperm of the dead.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
man.
We're sorry.
They didn't see it.
Yeah, they are. They're watching the chat room right now.
Oh, come on, this is in black and white. They couldn't tell what that is.
Yeah, no, they were just making sandwiches.
Ganga bong.
It's blood, right?
Ganga
Yeah,
bong.
Mayonnaise.
It's blood, right?
Ganga bonga. Ganga bonga.
Gang bang.
First time Mike says, wow. Bosch says, exciting. We are going to hell.
Gang bang. I didn't say share it with them.
What did you mean?
Gang bang. Gang bang. Gang bang.
Ganga bong. Rachel, you like that way too much. I'm a little worried over here.
Is that on YouTube?
Where do you think we're fucking watching
I'm
it?
gonna find that first before we watch. What are we doing next week? We'll give it a fuck.
for it. I can't find it.
Look on the Ganga Bong.
Revenge of the Gang Bang Zombies.
Oh, is that what? Oh.
So if you guys want to find it out there in the podcast, Revenge of the Gang Bang
Oh,
Zombies.
wow, I need to do a fucking stress test right now. I'm having
I got a little change in my pocket.
Gang
Bro.
bang. Gang
No gang bang. No gang bang. No gang.
Oh my God, we're going to hell. We are,
We didn't make it.
we are so going to hell.
Oh, here it is.
We're not.
Wow, that's
Ganga
Oh,
Bong.
I'm gonna watch a scene from this.
Oh, is it full cut?
that's a full.
No, there's a couple trailers. There's a couple trailers and there's a couple scenes. There's a dubstep mix of it.
Perfect. Oh shit!
Send that.
A dubstep.
Send that to Wolfie right
Ganga
now.
Bong?
Yeah, that's got to be what it is.
Yeah, he's under Wolfie.
Jesus.
Wolfie, find that.
Julie Meow Meow says, well, that was something.
We're sorry, Julie Malmo.
Yeah, I don't know why you
God.
bring stuff like that up, Monster Zero.
That wasn't meant
It was
for
you.
No.
Yeah. Gonga bong. Gonga bong.
Very
Well,
fitting tribute to a living legend. No longer. Wow.
Gonga bong.
We're sorry, George.
Monkey Shines. He did Monkey Shines.
Yes,
Oh, really?
did.
It's very-
Yeah, 1988.
That scared the fuck out of me.
You know what's
Commercial.
interesting, though, and you can't say this about too many other directors, he made exclusively horror from Knight Riders on.
Even before then.
Well, no.
From Martin.
I don't know. You
Martin-
can't call Knight Riders a horror film.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's
After,
a
yeah.
fantasy film.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's not a fantasy film either. It's like just a drama.
Yeah.
I consider it a fantasy.
It was a comedy.
And then of course, Knight Riders is 1981, and then in 82, he changed the fucking world again by making Creepshow.
Yeah.
And 85, Day of the Dead. 88, Monkey Shines. 93, he started doing some more stuff with Stephen King. He did The Dark Half.
Mhm.
He also did the Two Evil Eyes in
Yes, I was gonna
1990.
say.
I almost forgot that one.
Yeah.
And
With Dario Argento.
Absolutely. Mr. Argento.
Gonga bong.
And then he started to slow down after The Dark Half. He didn't do anything again until Bruiser in 2000.
That was bad.
Yeah, it's not the greatest film. And then 2005, Land of the Dead, which I actually I think is pretty good.
Yeah, I like Land.
It had some good stuff in there.
It's my fourth favorite of his Dead films. But I think there's enough in there. And then Diary, I haven't seen it since the theater, so I can't really. I'd probably have to rewatch it. But
Well, I think a lot of people praise Land because it is his first film in like 20 years at that point. To follow up in the Dead films, so it's fully understandable why.
I sure it's a lot of people don't praise it because they like it.
No, I'm saying that it got a lot of high praise because it was his first Dead film in 20 years.
But not because they liked it.
It's a decent film. It's not great.
So no one liked it. That's
I
the
didn't
only
say
reason
I didn't say
praised
no
it.
one liked
So it's
it.
like your Nana makes dinner, and she hasn't made dinner in 20 years, and it's horrible, but because
delicious.
she made dinner.
Because she made dinner.
You made a pot pie Nana. It's fucking awesome.
Yep.
No, it's good.
I love pot pie.
Carlos says, I played the Gonga Bongos.
Gonga bong.
And then he did his last film, unfortunately, will be known as Survival of the Dead.
And that was piss poor.
That's his worst film.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far.
Well, he also had Road of the Dead. He was getting ready to do Road of the Dead.
I wonder if that's gonna.
I
still
hear
happen.
that is.
Well, I mean, he just passed a couple days ago.
I have heard that it's going to happen. Whether or not, who knows?
I'm going to say he will not have involvement in it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Gonga bong.
Gonga bong.
It's another treat, Wolf. Just say.
Oh, he wasn't going to direct it anyways. Matt Berman is slated to direct. I remember hearing that, actually. He did, I think he worked on
Berman.
some of his other flicks as he was a stuntman, and I think was he a second unit director or something? I don't know, but he did some of George's other stuff. Oh yeah, he did. He was the second unit director in Survival of the Dead. So Matt Berman is going to do Road of the Dead. So hopefully that does still come out. It would be good to see what George's vision was.
Gonga bong.
Oh my God, this is fucking off the rails now. We can't even. I want to just stop talking about Romero if you're gonna fucking mention Gonga Bong.
Gonga bong.
Carlos says he did a Japanese Resident Evil 2 commercial.
That's true.
Yeah, he did.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
That thing was awesome.
And Julie says gonna have to look that up, Carlos.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah.
And Creepy Girl says I liked Land of the Dead. Yeah, I did too.
Gonga bong.
Oh my fucking God! I'm gonna end this episode soon.
No, and don't feel Creep Show.
We talked about it.
Yeah, I know, and I'm bringing it up again.
He made Knight Riders.
Jesus.
He also made Night of the Living Dead. Never heard of it.
Wow. Then we're fucking totally off the rails.
Yeah.
Now. Jesus Christ.
That's fucking awesome. I want that to be my ringtone.
No, you do not.
Well, I don't know how to do it, but maybe for
Well,
one
big
person.
shock there.
Yeah, no
There's one
shit.
person in particular I want to make that my ringtone.
Gonga bong.
Mars, this is all you. This is all fucking you.
Gonga bong.
This is a dubstep mix?
I guess.
It's my joint. Oh my god.
Oh, this is
This
so
is getting worse.
Oh.
Shut that shit off.
Wait till it kicks in.
You're going to hell, Mars. You're going to hell. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Is that all this song is for like 4 minutes?
Yep.
That's the fucking mowing the lawn mix right there. I'm gonna cut the weeds.
Cut the weeds. Julie says, well, we know what the show title will be. Oily says, a fitting tribute to Romero. We are so fucking stupid. Why do we even do this?
Five years.
Let's stop now before we get to 5 years. We can't do it.
Sorry, Carando. Find something else to do. Call and Cult of Muscle.
What did you do, Mars? What did you do? I'm gonna Michael Dudikoff your head. Oh my god! What the fuck?
Oh, for Christ's sake, I'm 46 years old and I'm laughing at this All right, enough of that shit. Jesus Christ. Trick! Dear God, no!
My work here is done.
I think your work here was done a long time ago.
Holy shit.
All right, can we get back on track?
Unlike
To do
everybody.
so, how about if we hear from First Time Mike?
Okay,
Yes,
let's
thank you.
do that. Please.
Cleanse the palate.
Gang bang.
Ganga bang.
Oh my fucking god! All right, let's hear from First Time Mike.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This
Hey,
is
buddy.
First Time Mike. How's everybody doing?
Doing well, my friend.
It was with sadness that I saw about the passing of George
Yeah.
Romero. The first place I saw it was on the Trick or Treat Radio fan site. When I was going to go do my riding exercise bike, I had my iPad to go listen to some tunes, and I checked the Facebook, and it's the first and Johnny talking about the passing of George Romero. I've had time to reflect, and I know a lot of people. I love the Dead movies. The original trilogy is great. I have a fondness for Land of the Dead, and the other ones were successful to me in various times. But two of the things I'd like to talk about tonight is his anthologies that really inspired me. I first saw Creepshow in 1983. It's kind of blending if I either saw it on the VHS copy or on HBO when they eventually got their hold of it and played it over and over and over again like HBO was wanting to do back in the day. Creepshow was a brilliant movie for me because I was just getting into horror movies. I was about 11 or 12 at the time. And I love comic books too. And Creepshow, as you know, is pretty much a live-action comic book. From the framing, from flashback framing to, even the cuts in between the different stories, all done in the style of comic books. And Creepshow is one of the things that led me to discover EC Comics, and back when they started to do reprint copies of them back in the late 80s and early 90s, or other horror comics that came out that I was able to get when people weren't paying attention for my age at the comic book store. Creepshow is just beautiful visually, from George, and with interesting characters, to Jordi Vera, to I want my cake. And the Beast in the Crate, and just I love the movie, and I haven't watched it in a while, and all this makes me want to watch this again. And the other movie that I also had a fondness for was Two Evil Eyes.
Yeah.
The one that he did, the movie that he did with Dario Argento.
Yep.
And his version of The Facts in the Case of Mr. Valdemar, yep, I think is one of his more underrated movie successes. It's a darkly supernatural take on the story, and it's a really creepy version of the Valdemar's tale. The Case of M. Valdemar, they updated it to modern day, and it's a parable about greed, but it also goes into really creepy and strange metaphysics, and about really what is the actual what happens when you hold somebody in between life and death, and what's going to happen to you. And it's not just the corruption of the flesh and dying that causes the horror in here. Romero's supernatural take is a rather interesting one with flashing visuals and a lot of mood. And I kind of wish that he would have done more movies similar to that, because he had that segment of Two Evil Eyes is a really compact, good, scary supernatural short movie, in my opinion. Also, I do have a soft spot for movies like Knight Rider and Martin. And the Dead movies mean a lot to me too, but Creepshow and Two Evil Eyes are among my favorite of Romero's work. I'd like to say goodnight to you guys, and I have a question for Michael Ravenshadow. Hey, Ravenshadow, I'm going to the local Festa Italiana with some friends on this upcoming Sunday.
There you go.
And I'd like some food recommendations for you. I have some personal favorites like spadini and some lasagna rolls, but is there anything that you, Michael Ravenshadow, suggest that I should try at Festa Italiana if somebody has it? This is First Time Mike from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, saying goodnight to everybody, and have a good one. Bye.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, first off, First Time Mike, thank you, man. That was a really heartfelt, awesome voicemail, and thank you for getting things back on track.
Yes, thank you.
But yeah, I mean, George was so fucking influential to so many of us.
We just saw.
It's astounding. It's astounding.
Gang-a-bang.
Oily Maniac says, geez, don't choke up Mike. Poor bastard has to follow that nonsense. Absolutely right, Oily.
What
was
nonsense?
Was that a pun, Oily?
Slaygoth says, Mom took me to see it when I was 8 years old. It was amazing. I think
took you to see Gangbang Zombie?
No. Come on. I think he means Creepshow.
Oh, okay.
Really?
And
wow.
Julie says it's great entry-level horror.
Yeah.
And
first.
someone named Mickey Marzi says, Tom C., it is Chocolate Beast. What's Chocolate Beast?
Tom C. pointed out that the gangbang person in the dubstep sounded like Chocolate Beast.
Oh, okay. So, Raven Shadow, do you have any advice for First Time Mike?
Yeah, man. I just went to the delicious J. Anthony's over the weekend, and you can't go wrong with good chicken parm, man. Chicken parm with some linguine.
I don't know
nice.
that's walking around Italian fast food, though.
Oh, you're gonna have that.
Yeah, well, how do you fucking eat that walking around? What about a fucking cannoli?
They got the fucking
sausage
tables.
sandwich?
Yeah, gabagoo. You know, fucking spumoni. Spumoni ice cream is very nice. It's like pistachio, chocolate, and the strawberries very good together.
Are you Italian?
You never had spumoni?
No.
So there you go. You know that answer.
You got the brains, and I've got spumoni.
Yeah, no, get a
Let's get some spumoni.
Well, I don't know what lasagna balls are, whatever the fuck that is. Or lasagna
Delicious.
Lasagna balls.
My mother made that. I was all over the boot. I didn't eat that.
All over the boot.
That's Italy.
I know.
It's shaped like a boot.
I thought you meant Cape Cod.
Oh, it's like a weird, like a dick like Florida. Yeah, no, you know, it's all everything Italian is good. First time, Mike, okay? Except Mussolini, he was bad. And Columbus doesn't really speak for us. We're sorry about him. He sailed for Spain.
Cecil says West End Spumoni.
Yeah. Everton. Mozzarella.
All right, first time, Mike. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate you calling in. Always love hearing from you, my friend. And have fun at the Italian festival, and let us know what you get. If you
Send me a picture.
take Raven Shadow's recommendations or not.
They got chicken palm sandwiches you can get.
Okay, well that's better.
Just put bread on.
That's better.
Yeah.
Put bread on it
Yeah.
with spaghetti.
No, it's the chicken palm in itself.
Chicken palm in itself.
Yeah.
All right.
The fillet.
The fillet.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I go to some cool festivals.
It's never fillet.
The JLA festival.
Yeah.
All right, we got voicemail from Michael Ravenshadow Talks Film.
Interesting.
Creepy Girl says Florida shaped like a weird dick.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair.
It kind of is. Yeah, it kind of is. Really.
I think you guys should go to a doctor.
What's the joke? It's like it's pissing on Cuba?
All right,
Is this a real thing? I've never heard it before.
I think it was a Gallagher joke, yeah.
Let's hear from Michael Ravenshadow Talks Film.
Listen, Johnny, too much booze turns you into a monster or a robot. Anyway, point is, stay out of the playground. I'm sorry to Korea.
Well, that was strangely made a lot of sense, Ravenshadow.
Yeah, well.
Do you call that in when you're taking a smoke break?
Yes, yeah, I cover the bases.
Thank you, Melissa. Cannolis, great suggestion. See? I got the good fucking suggestions, Ravenshadow.
Well, maybe I'm concerned.
Where were you with the cannoli?
I'm concerned about the sugar, okay? Very sugary.
You go to Italian Fest, what, once a year?
You
don't have to fucking worry about the sugar,
every
okay?
day. Okay. Well, I was concerned about first time Mike's cholesterol.
All right. Well, I'm concerned with what Corny's about to say. Hopefully he fucking reams you out.
Hey guys, this is Evil Corny. I'm calling tonight to wish my friend and co-host on the Cabal Corner, Jeremy Slagoff, a happy 60th birthday. I think his birthday's either this weekend or the beginning of next week, and I'm just calling about that. He's a real good friend, and he introduced me to your show.
Yeah.
So, happy 60th birthday, Slagoff.
Can't be that much of a
I also want to remind Ravenshadow that Julie Meow Meow and I live in the state of Alabama, and not North Carolina. All right, you have a good one. Bye.
Well, I don't know where that is.
Where on the map is Alabama?
Below.
Below what?
South.
But above the weird
South
dick.
of the border?
Yeah, north of the dick and below
the vagina.
The New England.
Good. Perfect.
Where's the armpit?
The Revere.
I'm gonna do a hip hop show with Michael Ravenshadow called Geography.
Yeah. Gene, I don't know where things are.
I know.
The OG on geography.
Yeah. Below where it's hot. It's hot all the time.
All right, we also got it very late. He got it in under the wire.
Thank you, Corny. I'll remember.
We're going to hear from Arkham Josh. He got out of fucking Iron Maiden and left us a voicemail. Wow. What a fucking trooper.
I hope it's about...
Let's hear from Arkham Josh.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, it's Josh from the Arkham Film Society. I don't know if this is going to make it in time, but I figured it was before midnight, and you guys might still be recording. We're sitting in the parking lot after the Maiden concert, just kind of letting people clear out a little before we get into traffic and overheat the car. So this week's film, Colossal, I really enjoyed it. As I posted earlier, it's definitely a treat and a recommend. I think it's wonderfully written, very well acted, with a fantastic cast. I think Jason Sudeikis does a wonderful job kind of playing the bad guy, obviously representing the alcoholism and codependence that the main character has, but he truly makes you dislike him as a character, which is a good feat. And I was also really The ending, I didn't quite expect that was going to be the ending, and I think it worked out wonderfully.
Yeah.
So I was very happy with that. Overall, like I said, definitely a treat and a very high recommend. I'm hoping I get to see it again, because I'm wondering if there's little things that I missed. If I had any criticism at all, it's just that I think when they divulged the backstory, I thought there were too many little coincidental elements in that story, to which the two of them earlier in the film would have been like, oh wait, this reminds me of that thing. But, you know, that's storytelling. But, I don't know. I hope you guys all liked it as much as I did. And you requested a review of the show. And Iron Maiden were amazing.
Awesome.
We seemed to get here just as they got on. Because, you know, traffic getting into these parking lots and situated is always tough. But, you know, they played a great selection of the hits and stuff from the new record. The stage show is just as energetic and lively as, you know, videos I've seen of them in the past. The stage set itself was, you know, towering and impressive. So, yeah, it was great. It's the first time I got to see them. Been listening to them since the 80s and just kind of never got around to it or managed to. So, yeah, this was great. And, you know, I guess another treat and a recommend. So, hey, I hope this gets to you guys in time. And, you know, looking forward to see what of you guys pick after this one, because I think we're on a roll here. So, have a good one. All right? Bye.
All right, Josh. Thanks, buddy. I'm glad you were able to get that in under the wire, and glad you had such a good time at Maiden. Mars and I have seen him. You saw him more than once too, right, Mars?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've seen him. I've seen him twice. I think you've seen him 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I saw him with Alice Cooper.
Yeah, I was at that one.
I would have really liked to have gone to this one though.
Me too. And they're just unfucking believable. Like, whether you're a big fan of their music or not, like, you can just feel the energy live. And Bruce Dickinson is unfucking believable. That guy is how old now? In his 60s, I think. And he just does not stop moving. I swear to fucking God, from the beginning of the first note till the end of the last note, he does not stop moving. And he sounds phenomenal. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Hey, while I'm thinking of it, is also a former co-host of the Elm Street Kids, Stephanie Wiley's birthday's this week. So,
cool. Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Miss
Wiley.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Or at least will happen. Is it Sunday? I don't know. At least it will happen before we film or whatever it is we do here again. Record.
Before we do the next show, yeah. Carlos says Iron Maiden Live is awesome. Absolutely. They're fucking great. And
yeah, they're great.
Courtney says, I'm in Bessemer, Alabama. I hope I don't wake up in North Carolina. Raven Shadow.
Yeah,
You son of a bitch. All right, we got one more voicemail. It's from someone named the Chocolate Zombie.
Whoa.
Let's take a listen.
Gong bong. Gong bong. Now get bong. Now get bong. Now get bong.
Oh my God, Chocolate Zombie! I wonder if he's related to the Chocolate Beast. Oh my God. What do you think?
It could
he
be.
He does
Could
like
be.
Nougat.
Yeah. Nougat bong.
Oh my God. Well, that is it for voicemail. End on a fucking high note right there, huh?
Yeah, we gotta go.
Let me just check. I don't think we have any email. No email. All right, since Mars has been fucking asking for it, let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can do. Yeah, let's do this. I don't know if we have any fucking tweets, but let's do it.
This is Chocolate Beast. Give up your tweets, tweets. Give up your tweets or face the Chocolate Beast. Give up your tweets, tweets. Give up your tweets or face the Chocolate Beast. Now get...
And we have no tweets. Hey!
Well, we didn't want that to get it rusty.
We do have some, but they're nothing relevant to the show. So. Oh, Julie says I can't.
So stupid. So stupid. Oh, I love it.
Mars was asking for it. He wanted.
Hey, I'm glad to hear it, man. It's been too long.
It's been a while.
Well, man. So we better save up our energy because we have next week.
Yeah.
The 5-year anniversary, right? Should we? You guys want to kind of end things here?
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's as we go around, how about you guys all mention your favorite Romero film? And if you have any thoughts or any memories, I know most of you guys have met him. So if anything really sticks out, why don't you go ahead and mention? Let's kick it off with MZ.
My favorite Romero flick is Night of the Living Dead.
And any stories to relay when you met him or anything?
Just that meeting him that one time, and one time is enough for me, man. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
It was just really, really awesome. And he's just like a big old teddy bear with those big black rimmed glasses, you know? I mean,
likes to snuggle.
it's like, and you know, he's got the ponytail, and I don't know if he likes to snuggle. He didn't snuggle with me, but
Snuggle with me.
he did snuggle with you, and there's pictorial proof of that too. And
pectoral proof.
And he was just a cool, very soft-spoken, intelligent person. You know, loved talking about film and things like that. So that's what I remember most. And I just love his film work. I mean, it started to waver off a little bit, you know, as he got older. But, you know, the early stuff is what he'll always be remembered for, and because that's his best stuff. And it broke so many barriers, and we're always going to miss him. Rest in peace, George Romero.
Absolutely. Why don't you say your normal goodbye?
Arrivederci, you douchebags.
All right, Raven Shadow?
Yeah, no, I mean, I got to go with Night as my favorite.
Night Riders?
Night Riders. Night of the Comets. All the Nights. No, Night of the Living Dead. And while I never met the man, I got to say, like I said before, seeing Night of the Living Dead on the big screen for the first time, you know, was kind of cool. So, yeah, man, thank you. Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
Mars Man.
That was actually a giant ship sail, if I'm not mistaken.
Might have been, yeah.
It was Stereoscope what they projected on.
Oh, that's cool.
My favorite is Dawn, by a lot. And Monster Zero is right. I met him 2 times, and that was just too much. I just couldn't handle it. No. I only met him once, and he was so sweet. And my little memory with him, my little moment that I confided to close friends and dealt with while it was happening was that when he tried to sign a Blu-ray for me, he didn't like his signature twice, and much to the chagrin of the Blu-ray handler, he handed 2 Blu-rays back that he didn't smudge his signature on until he signed one and got it right for me. So.
Nice. That's cool. All right, Mars, say your goodbye.
What is it? Okay, remember, children, wherever you go, gang bang.
Oh, God. All right, well, Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorite all-time flicks, so I'm going to have to go with that. But since Mars had mentioned it, I'll also go close runner-up would be Creepshow, I think. Such transcendent films and really just kind of made horror. I think he's responsible for not only zombies, but horror being more mainstream than it was.
He created a genre, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he created the subgenre and also pushed the genre of horror forward maybe more than any other director or close to it. So he's the one thing I'll say, I never met the man, and I know I had opportunities, and I feel, you know, I feel like a dick that I didn't now, because he was at a lot of the same shows that we were at. But I will say I was reading some stuff about him, other people talking about him, and one of the ones that really seemed super sweet to me was when Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright got a chance to meet George Romero, because they made Shaun of the Dead because they're such huge fans of his. They kind of bonded over his films, and so George basically invited them to be in Land of the Dead, and they had the kind of a featured zombie role of being the picture, like to get a picture taken with a zombie. So they had a featured role, and I just thought that was really cool. He really pushed them hard, and they got a pretty awesome poster quote from Romero for Shaun of the Dead. So I think he really did a lot for. I don't know if it did a lot for Edgar Wright's career because he's a talented filmmaker, and he probably would have gotten there anyways. But I just thought that was a really cool story, and it was really awesome to see how supportive he was of these two kids who he didn't know anything about, and they made a movie because they loved his films, and I thought that was really cool. So, Mars, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
This, very seldom, one of the most underrated, most important records of all time is Devo's Freedom of Choice. And my buddy Jeremy McFarlane, and a little less so, his buddy Martin talk about that on not this episode of Atomic Age Media, but the one past. And on this last episode that just dropped this week, our buddy Corando stops by. So
yeah,
check those out.
Awesome, definitely. And that's going to do it, guys. I want to thank everyone. We had a lot of action going on in the chat room, and I thank you guys for putting up with our bullshit tonight. Also, big thanks to Carlos for viewing his first show. It was awesome having you in. Carlos, we couldn't really. I didn't read it very much because we were having a conversation, but that dude is super knowledgeable. He was answering all the questions and naming a bunch of obscure things. So come back, Carlos. It's awesome having you in here, and we appreciate every one of you guys coming and hanging out for the live show. It's always a blast. Next week, I'd love to get a big turnout for the 5-year anniversary show. Everyone put on their Wednesday best, and should be a good time. We'll hopefully have some other guests lined up potentially. We're going to have Corando, so please get your questions in for the Q&A. You could win a Blu-ray of Karate Kill, and also Mixtape Massacre. If you guys have a few hours, if you're hearing this live or watching it on YouTube after the fact, go check out the Black Mask expansion. Go to mixtapemassacre.com, and there'll be a link to the Kickstarter. Hopefully you guys can get in. If you do give $5 or more, send us proof to podcast@trickortreatradio.com, and we'll enter you into the contest, and we'll draw a winner next week. So, all right, next week should be fun, everyone. The 5-year anniversary. Thank you to everyone who joined the live show, hung out with us, and thank you to everyone who's going to check out the show on the podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and Satchel Podcast Player. You guys are awesome. Thank you. See you next week.